I have a bad need to play Moon, but I just don't want to play $60.
Bro, it's so worth it. Dude, I literally bought it on Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PS4, PS5. I bought it on everything already, and I don't need to.
Do you think it's controversial to say that like Black Ops 3 might be the best Black Ops?
Oh, it is the best Black Ops. Like,
Caleb, what do you say?
It is the best Call of Duty.
You know, you might be right, because I didn't really play 3 as much as I played 2, but 3 just had everything that 2 had, but improved.
Yeah,
I think in terms of the specialists, though, I do think some of them were blatantly overpowered and never nerfed. Yeah, I used the guy with the sword, and I used submachine guns. I abused it, bro. I abused it. But like in terms of everything else the game had to offer, except for probably campaign, I think it was good.
Yeah.
I think 1 and 2 probably still ended up beating it in some categories, but just for overall fun factor, man, I played the fuck out of that game.
Dude,
more than any other god.
Same here.
Yeah.
You might be right. I think 1 had the best campaign. 2 was like, fuck, I don't even remember that much.
I think
of 2.
it's just culturally.
It's like just culturally accepted, so you have to say it's the best, which I don't agree with.
Yeah.
And then because I think MW in 2019 is actually like the second best Call of Duty game, which nobody says that. But I think Black Ops 2 was great all around, and then I think 3 had the best replayability. Like I can always go back and play 3.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. Every time it pops in my head, it's what the Destiny franchise is to me again. It's just another gaming X that just she pops up in my brain every once in a while, and I go,
I wonder if you gotta scratch that itch.
Yeah, every once in a while, I'll be like, what you doing?
Like Minecraft 2.
I was about to say Minecraft.
The 2-week phase every time.
I just I have a fiending for fucking zombies, bro.
Dude,
zombies is fun.
I love zombies.
I think
that's honestly the only thing I really liked about Call of Duty is doing zombies with friends.
That's the only game too I've actually bought the microtransactions. I've dumped so much money for Liquid Divinium, and then Black Ops 4 came out, and I was so disappointed with the freaking elixirs. It was garbage.
Yeah, Black Ops 4 was disappointing.
3 peaked, bro. 3 definitely.
Dude,
just the starting screen, bro. It was. I know, that came out in middle school though, so maybe we should say. Well, can this be 2 episodes? Because we only got the one guy perspective.
I don't know, man. This is hard.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't have a lot to say here in terms of like elementary here, so I have to default to middle school at least at some point.
Yeah.
So I think we should do both.
I got dementia, so
it'll be a bit of I guess like a transfer.
Yeah.
We'll get to it, but yeah. Welcome to this week's episode of the podcast. I'm the host Caleb, here with co-host Alex and our special guest Ruben. And this is the first part of our 3-part special of going through all the stages of school. So
we're skipping preschool?
Preschool. I didn't go to preschool.
I did.
I guess we can kind of talk about that then.
Preschool was kind of gas, bro. It was just
preschool was gas.
See, it was daycare.
It was so go.
My dad worked night shifts, so he'd watch me while my mom was at work.
Tough.
And so I just would spend all day watching Blue's Clues and just playing outside.
So
that like I don't know if I fell behind or anything for preschool, but
no, you really didn't. Well, you weren't. I
don't think I missed anything.
I actually don't remember any of my friends in preschool, but I just remember like all the kids actually didn't hate each other. So
okay, you know what's funny though? Just thinking about it now, like I didn't go to preschool, and in kindergarten we only went for. I think we were in the same.
We only went for like 3 days. We went on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So we missed 2 days that other kids would go. And I didn't read a single book that whole kindergarten year. And apparently other people were reading books in the other classes. We didn't do that in our kindergarten class. I don't remember us reading anything. I don't think we were taught anything. I just remember us playing all the time.
In kindergarten? I remember us doing some learning stuff.
Tracing letters and stuff.
The only thing I remember doing in kindergarten in that class was... Like, this is like the biggest memory I have is when we did the whole ant experiment where it's like shade and sun. Like, we put half of a paper plate over the like main plate with like 2 ants on it, and they would always gravitate towards like the sunlight.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I think for the most part, at least because I grew up different than you two, at least when it came to like Othello's school system, I think it was just mostly like letters.
I think that's really all I remember. And
some basic math.
At the end of the year, I think our teacher brought like tadpoles into the class.
I think that.
bastard.
Yeah.
Lucky bastard.
Did we ever go to the salmon fishery hatch, or was that like first grade?
On. I think that was like first grade or second grade.
I think we did that too.
But like I don't think we read a single book that whole year of kindergarten. And then we get into first grade, and everybody has like reading levels, and I'm in a class with a bunch of people who weren't in the same kindergarten class as me. So they start me out as like the beginner reading level, and I have to like read a certain number of books at that reading level to earn my way up, because apparently to them I was like an idiot who didn't know how to read.
Can we just put Goku on screen right now? This is basically Dragon Ball.
I grabbed the books because I remember they had the green sticker. That was like the starter book.
Oh yes, I do remember that.
And I remember having it and looking at it. I'm like, this is the most stupid book. Like literally, this is for babies. I know how to read. What they didn't know is secretly I'd go home and be reading Calvin and Hobbes with my brother.
I love Calvin and Hobbes.
I saw Calvin and Hobbes book this weekend or past weekend. I thought about getting it for you, but I didn't know if you had it or not.
I've always hated the excuse teachers gave you to like, because they always want you to improve in reading, but they always give you stupid excuses for not reading Calvin and Hobbes and like picture books and stuff like that. You're just like,
stupid.
Just let them read.
Let them read what they want. Like that was the biggest problem in elementary schools. They did not like you having your own free thought.
Fun. They don't like you having fun.
No. They don't like you having fun, because I think it wasn't until like our fourth grade teacher, because we got so into like writing cartoons and stuff, that she just let me read Calvin and Hobbes. And then from that point on, it was just like, that's all we'd read are like,
it was
comic books.
I'd say it was the same too, bro. I'd be so infatuated to read like Diary of the Wimpy Kid or like
Bone.
Or like
Bone was crazy.
Any of the like origami Yoda books. I was a big fan of those books. And the fact that some of those teachers would be like, you need to read it with the systems. Fuck the systems books. This shit's gas.
Because they'd always have us read like they wanted us to read the most boring books. But the one books that the type of books I did like reading that didn't have pictures in them were always like the horror stories.
I like the Spiderweb Chronicles.
That was a good one.
That was mine.
I didn't read those, but I watched the movie and I did like the movie.
The movie's gas though.
It's gas. It doesn't hold up now, but
it's still
cool
gas. I actually just watched it like a month or two ago.
Really?
Yeah, because I wanted to be like, dude, they should have made like all 5 books. And then so my wife was like, yo, let's rent it. And I go, bet. And so we went on Amazon or something like that, and it was on there. I was like, dude, gas. And it was actually still good. Like, I mean, I didn't think it was bad.
Yeah, I don't think I've watched it since it came out, but yeah, that was like the Michigan Chillers, Goosebumps, all that kind of stuff.
Wait, you know
those
what's
were
weird?
so good.
So I can't. Wait a minute. To put this, we'll put this in Caleb POV. You're telling me, at least before you're one of the grade school teachers will let you eventually do it, that you were allowed to read Goosebumps, right?
Yeah.
A horror story with some PG-13-esque elements. We'll just say that, right? But you can't read Calvin and Hobbes.
Tough.
Huh?
They saw you having too much fun.
Quit having fun.
What's wrong with pictures, brother?
Like, honestly, what's crazy too is the stuff they talk about in Calvin and Hobbes was even more complex than any of those other books that they were wanting us to read.
Yeah.
Like, even today, I read some of the comic strips. I'm like, wow, that's actually really deep.
Tough.
I was reading that when I was like 10, just not even understanding what it meant.
Adult Caleb reading a comic strip now.
Holy crap.
This guy's big brain, bro.
I think my favorite thing about elementary school was at Peninsula, because they didn't have, because I jumped to schools, Chingos. Like, I'd always go from like Park Orchard to Garden Heights or whatever.
That's right, you did.
I was constantly moving, like every year. I would be, it was funny too, because I remember, I don't want to drop names, but I'm going to drop it anyways. I remember there was one time, like 4th grade, this is going back to my story. I'm going sidetrack now. But I remember I pulled up to Peninsula like halfway through the year, and like freaking Jackson Fair was waiting like outside, and then out of nowhere he turns around and goes, yo, what are you doing here, man? And I was just like, I'm back. Like,
I'm back.
They're like, oh, are you gonna leave again? I go,
We'll find out next year.
But my favorite thing about Peninsula, because they didn't do it anywhere else, but they'd always do those charms things or whatever for the whole running around at lunchtime. And like if you ran a mile or whatever, you get, they write it down, and then they give you like a foot, and then after like 5 miles you get like a green shoe and blah blah blah. But that was like my favorite part of elementary school the whole time.
They did always have cool like trinkets that they'd give us, and then it was always funny the stupid assemblies that they'd have for the pause assemblies, where they just give like awards to
For,
kids
like,
for
best
like
student or-
achievements
yeah.
and stuff. And you knew it was bullcrap because like there'd be kids who you knew were just terrible all year who'd still get an award because the school
They haven't
had to
got
give
one
them
yet.
one.
Yeah, I haven't got one yet. So here's another thing too. I saw it online where it's like, because I used to get these rewards too, but they're always like, "Oh, have lunch with the teacher." I'm like, dude, why did I think it was so cool to have lunch with the teacher back in elementary
Why
school?
would I want to do that?
Why would I ever want to do that? And I did it a lot.
In retrospect, isn't that just weird?
Yeah.
It's like
It's weird.
That's
it's kind
weird.
of creepy.
It's
It's
a weird.
why?
Like, why would you want to have lunch with the teacher when having lunch with your friends is like the actual fun part?
Right.
Like
Yeah, I
lunch
never
with your
understood
teacher is
that.
actually used as a punishment. So why would you do that?
I think it is nowadays, yeah. But freaking back in the day, we'd always get these little slips for like, "Oh yeah, you read your book in less than 2 months" or something like that, and it's just like have lunch with the teacher.
I guess it worked if you.
And
had
like
a
I
hot-
was super hyped about it back in elementary
It
school.
worked if you had a hot teacher, I guess.
But then again, back in the day, we
Elementary
weren't
school
like
crushes
being
were
like,
wild.
"Oh yeah."
Yeah, we didn't care.
Yeah, we weren't like
We're
that back
but I
then.
want to play dinosaurs with my friends.
Yeah,
No.
tough.
you know what was at least going back to my favorite memories was like the book magazines.
Leaving
Ooh,
Othello.
That shit was
the
gas.
Scholastic magazines that we'd get for book orders is like, I like the cool stuff. Like they knew how to manipulate kids' minds because they'd always have all these cool like not book things, and you're like, I want this.
I guess that's why I said last time the ads do work on me. That's when it started
That's
right
when
there.
it started.
But here's the first thing though. Every time I got those, it was cool, but I'd be depressed because I was fucking broke back then. Like my parents were broke, and so I'd always open it and go, "Nice," and I'd throw it away before I left class because there was no point in me asking my parents for nothing because.
Aw.
Yeah,
And then so now I just buy whatever I want.
you just get everything.
You're just like my brother, but my parents actually bought us stuff, so I don't.
See, I don't get that perspective. I'm just like, I didn't get everything as a kid, so I'm buying all the kid stuff now.
Yeah.
And then now he's got everything,
I
and now
think-
he's still doing the
I
same.
think Andrew got more things than I did. He might argue for that one because it's brother rivalry, but I think genuinely he got more what he wanted. Probably took longer, but he got more at one point. I just stopped asking.
Makes sense.
Damn.
But like, bro, I knew I only ever could get one book at a time. But bro, seeing kids get multiple books at once, bro, I was just like,
How are you reading all that?
I think they just were the early stage capitalism for kids.
Oh,
but
God.
like,
Kinda, yeah.
It was a
wild.
flex.
But moving on for the magazines, the book fair though,
Oh my gosh, I
Yes.
love the book
the
fair.
book fair was nuts. I
think
loved it every time.
What was crazy was when they started having manga at the book fair.
They never
I
did that
don't-
with
I don't
mine,
remember
bro.
that.
You don't remember that? I remember specifically because they had a Kingdom Hearts one there, and I was
yeah.
like, I'm gonna snag that.
Shoot, my parents would always actually give me stuff from the book fair, whether it's like something small or something big. But I think one year they just like went big and they're like, buy a poster and a book and buy like 5 different things too. And I was like, see them up. And so I got like a Lamborghini poster, freaking.
That's right.
That's when I first started reading the City of Ember books, and so I got one of those. And then I got like a pencil or something like that, but like a bunch of random stuff.
They always had cool like
It was
little
gas.
pencil topper stuff.
Oh,
just
yeah.
to play with.
And it was gas every time, bro. It was like it was
really
just like
was.
the way I could describe it now is like going into like a video game and there's like an event going on. It was just basically the equivalent of that for kids. I'm like, oh yeah, it's time to ball
It's
out.
book fair time.
Oh,
you know,
I've survived books too. Those books I was
Oh,
reading like
I
every
forgot
day.
about those.
In my school specifically, everybody was always tuned in to fucking the Guinness World Record books for some
Gas.
reason. I don't know
love
why.
those too.
That
I
was
think
gas.
we had those for the longest time, but they got worn out from like weather, so they're gone now. But
Oh, damn.
man, I love those books.
Those books-
I think
those
that
books are
was the
awesome.
one I'd get every time too.
Those books were like $20-$30, bro. They were
They're like 20,
expensive.
30 pounds as
This is what
well.
hap- this is what happens when you have a white mom.
Whoa.
My mom would be like, "You get one book," and I'd be
get
like, "I
one
will
book.
choose carefully."
I think I did have the budget of one book, and if it was available, it would be the Guinness World Records one.
W.
But typically, the worst feeling though was when you'd go to the book fair and none of the books would look interesting.
Dude, that I think that only ever happened once with me, bro. I think I was really young. I think I was in like first grade, and I just looked around. I'm like, dude, there is nothing here, bruh.
Because there's a point in time where, I think we'd get the book catalog first, and that was when the first one that would come out in September would always have the newest Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Oh yeah.
So I already ordered the newest Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So by the time the book fair came around, like the only book I was actually wanting to read was the Diary of a Wimpy Kid one. And I already had it, so I was like, "There's no other books here."
I actually read like all the way up to like the 8th one or whatever, and I kept reading it all through like middle school too. And then I stopped, and then I didn't know they had made like 8 more. And I'm like,
they kept making
milking them.
Because I think the last one I read was 9, and then it was just like, well, I think I've outgrown these books.
Yeah.
I'm shocked no one's has nobody on YouTube done like a comprehensive guide on like the lore of Diary of a
I'm sure
Wimpy
they
Kid?
have.
They have to.
Is there like
They
a
have
9-hour lore like reading? I want to know.
I was like the memes were because like the girl equivalent of that. Well, I can't remember her name now.
Who?
But
what's it? Oh no, what is it called?
Junie B. Jones or something like that.
Junie B. Jones is one, but it's not the one I'm thinking of because I remember.
Tough.
I remember one of the girls I was friends with. She'd always read these ones, but it was basically the female equivalent of Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking
you know
about.
the
It's
cover.
the pink cover. It's
yeah,
the pink
cover with the illustrated girl with the big eyes.
Yeah.
What are those books called?
I deadass think that what's his name, Jeff Kinney or whatever, saw it and he was like, "We gotta make one for boys, bro."
I think so.
I think it was the other way around.
He's like, "We gotta milk this." You think it's the other way around?
I think it is. I think those books came afterwards.
Tough.
Gosh, what was it called?
It's a man's world.
Why
It's
can't
a
I
man's
remember?
world.
I look up Diary Girl book and it's Anne Frank.
That is wild.
Tough.
Imagine going into an elementary school library. What's this book? The atrocities of men.
Imagine if they really had that at a book fair though. The Diary of Anne Frank. That goes
Diary of Anne
crazy.
Maybe I should get that for my kid. You want to read this
book
for me?
fair is nuts.
We're taking a turn for the worse, and I'm gonna continue this. So like, I'm a really good liar. Hopefully, no one picks up when I lie. But it started with the reading log. It started with that, and the thing is,
oh my gosh,
you can easily do it like with your parents or whatever. Just like, yeah, I totally read. My mom would watch me, and I'd purposely just look there, and I'd look left to right, and then fucking flip the page, left to right. So then she would really sign it, thinking I would
found
read.
it. It's Dork Diaries.
There it was.
There you go.
I knew it
Dork
was
Diaries.
I knew it was Girl Diary or something like that.
So now I can get to the meme I was about to talk about. It's I saw a meme where it was like has the girl from Dork Diaries and Greg Heffley, and they're like, which one of these two is worse? And it was like the girl from Dork Diaries would just be slightly inconvenienced by the popular girls and be upset about it, where Greg Heffley would be like, rally, hit the second tower.
Kaboom!
And Riley would do it too.
That dude really was like a sociopath.
Greg, I murdered 35 people today. Anyway, class.
Anyway,
Dude, Manny
everyone
was a
sucks.
bitch, bro. Like
Manny was-
but I wanted to strangle him through the paper.
There was another meme because they're like, Manny was actually worse than Greg. And
The
they're
next
like,
coming of Adolf Hitler, bro.
they're like, Greg was a sociopath, but Manny was a psychopath.
He was, bro. Roderick was low key fucking normal.
He's the only normal one.
No, the dad was normal because he had that whole like army
the
thing or
dad
whatever in the
was chill.
basement, and it was awesome.
Just gotta chill like that.
He was chill like
It's
that.
funny, the dad in the movies, same voice as a character in one of a Disney movie. Now I can't unhear.
Who?
He's in the Good Dinosaur. He's the
Oh.
pterodactyl.
Oh no way.
Oh, that's
And
right.
so when I was watching that with my niece the other day, I was like, I just could not get the image of Greg Heffley's dad out of my head.
So I remember the movie for Diary of a Wimpy Kid first, and then I obviously watched The Hangover before that. But freaking, I rewatched The Hangover, and the first thing I said, "It's Greg's mom!" in the first movie or whatever. I was like, "She's a bitch." And I'm like, "Oh my god,
Dude, those were
Those are
like
good memories.
oh yeah."
those were like just reading, like just having a new book to read every single year was just nice.
I gotta get. I think what I know what I'm gonna do as a dad is I gotta get all of. I gotta get like 2 sets of all of Dragon Ball, probably even Super 2, and then like have like one for my kids and be like, you read this. And then this is my collection. No, you don't touch this. This is collectors. You get this.
Collectors.
But
it's on a plastic case.
Yeah, and like the special drum boxes. I gotta get me one of those. But like, I feel like that's what you need to do as an adult, because like, now thinking about it, bro, I appreciated that shit so fucking hard. Reading was low key fun as fuck.
If you got to read the books that you wanted, it was so fun.
I hope I do. I'm slowly starting to gain a book collection right now, because I want my own personal library. Have I finished the books I've got?
Your brain is
no, but I read the first few chapters.
Because elementary school too was when I started reading like Marvel comics.
Oh yeah.
And Colby for my birthday would always get me Deadpool comics, but I knew for sure I couldn't read those at school because it always have naked girls in it. I was like, I probably can't read this at school.
You guys are way ahead of me when it came to reading like comics and stuff like that. I didn't do any of that until like middle school, like because I'd always go to
Hastings. Hastings was like my go-to spot.
Huge W.
I wanted to read manga, but I just never had the opportunity to do it until like probably like 7th grade. It probably wasn't until like 8th grade I realized, wait a minute, piracy. And then I was able to read all the stuff I needed to. And even now, being the intelligent, internet savvy adult I am, I have access to the entire collection of human knowledge. I have the ability to watch anything for free or read anything.
Tough.
Yeah.
For legal reasons, he's joking.
I'm joking. This is all for memes.
Dude, another good thing from elementary school was our Super Bowl recess football game all the time. At the very end of the year.
You guys would do that.
It was like the most legendary thing ever. And then I remember one time the 5th graders finally let us play with them when we were in 4th grade, and we still stomped on them. We were just so much smaller and faster. It was awesome. It was like the greatest day.
See, when we'd play on the playground, we'd more play like imaginary games rather than like sports games. I just pretend to be like the zombies. We'd play like we're in a zombie apocalypse. That was always so good. We'd have like a year-long story plot line. Damn. And then, like, it literally was those memes that you'd see online, where it's like when the year's about to end, and it's like the final climactic conclusion to the year-long story, and it's like you and your friend like fighting each other to the death.
It's just Captain America Civil War.
Pretty much. That's exactly how it would go. Yeah. It'd be like
good time.
Like I think one year we like were escaping from like Jurassic Park or something, and like I sacrificed myself to save everyone.
You need to have that noble cause. You gotta have that legacy.
I was like, get on the helicopter. I'll fend you guys off.
Crazy. Get down. So there was one time when I actually had like a big old stack of Pokemon cards, and I took them to Peninsula. And it was like 4th or 5th. Yeah. It was like 4th or 5th grade. Don't remember the kid's name. Like, I would totally kick his ass today if I had a chance. But he stole all of them, dude. I had a Charizard in there. I had a fucking Mew in there. I had everything. Like, I was stacked. Like, that was the only thing valuable I had in elementary school. He fucking robbed me when I went to goddamn bathroom. And then I literally went to the principal's office because I was that pissed off. And then the guy's like, nah, no evidence. Sorry, kid. And I go, you shitting me? The dude it was in his bag. I saw it. He like, as he walked away, he like showed him to me. Like he was showing me like somebody money flexing or something like that. Dude. And I was so sad, and I didn't tell my parents. I was like, I was just like, oh yeah, I just stopped using Pokemon. But it's a core memory, and I'm just like so pained.
That happened. That like exact thing happened to me too in 1st grade. My brother gave me all of his old Pokemon cards. I was so excited because he gave me a Charmander one, and I brought it to school, and somebody stole it. I don't know when or how, but they stole it, and I was so sad.
You kind of realize there's a pattern here. The kids that we don't remember who stole it from us, they're not around.
That's true. We don't see them anymore.
Yeah, we don't see them.
No, genuinely, now that you say it like that, I remember there was a marbling, like, gambling circuit at my school at one point. Yeah, like we got really big into marbles, and apparently there was a circuit going around. But to go back on this whole stealing thing, you can man, maybe adults in retro. I'm all thinking about it now. It's just like, you could genuinely tell which kids are going to end up good and which ones are going to end up bad.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious at a very early age.
Yeah, like how do I put this?
You're on thin waters here, Chief.
bro, looking at his skin is crazy.
Hey, I'm an abnormality. That's what it is.
I am an abnormality, but like, no, there was definitely some kids white kids that were just douchebags.
Yeah,
a lot of the time, at least growing up in like an Hispanic based town, it wasn't too bad. A lot of the Hispanic kids were fine. Maybe one or two were just kind of questionable, but no, they were definitely.
They already had facial hair. This is confusing.
this is weird.
Yeah, but it's just like you can definitely tell nowadays. It's like the environment a kid is around really does affect them. I thought like for a while I was like, is it really? And then I'm just like, now that I'm talking to you guys and looking back at the information that I've just slowly gathered over a couple of years, it's like, oh, holy shit, your home life really does affect
terrible.
Everything.
We can tell you were not spanked.
Either not spanked or not loved at all.
Which I don't get it why nobody, like nowadays it's like, oh my god, you spank your kids. I was like, yeah, and like,
or even then it's just like discipline in general. Just some people just don't.
Dude,
do
I
that
was
for
just
their
at, this
kids.
is completely off the elementary topic, but dude, I went to Walmart yesterday. Some kid was screaming his ass off. Like even I wanted to stop by and go smack his shit in front of his parents.
Clock him.
He just kept screaming for no reason. I was just like, what is wrong with this kid?
No, there's just some Frank weirdos.
Yeah.
I like
And Frank.
no, but like thinking about. I know I've seen a few like Instagram reels where it's like somebody says, "I'll never bring up spanking in real life," because it's like you start hearing horror stories of like the kids who aren't disciplined, like, and you kind of realize you kind of do need it. Like spanking is needed, but it's just like sometimes you might need to go a little bit too far with the whole rage. But then there's just some fucking horror stories of like I was locked up in a chair.
Some people just genuinely abusing their children.
I'm all like, what is, huh?
I got stories, but I can't say them. I'm not capping.
This is a free space. You will not be judged.
No, I won't get judged at all. I'm not worried about it, but I just shouldn't say them.
No, you know what? But even
even I don't think it's trauma. Like, I mean, yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
That's the trauma.
It could
trauma.
be.
That's the trauma.
But funny thing is, I still make jokes about it to this day, and like,
That's your coping mechanism, Ruben.
I guess, yeah.
the guy part kicking in. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Was I abused?
Hold on.
Wait a minute.
So things
Hold
are
on here.
starting to come together a little bit.
Wait a minute.
I'm gonna pass that abuse on to my children.
Generational trauma.
In 10 years, you can call CPS. Best believe they say they've been hit. I will do it.
God damn.
No way, you just said that.
I just said that.
Oh man.
Give me a Bible. I'm so certain about this.
Give me a Bible.
It says in Exodus 15.
Oh
I'm
gosh.
gonna lay a can of whoop ass. No, there was definitely some moments though, like my parents definitely did go overboard, but for the most part, it may or may not have been effective, at least in the long run. I don't know. I feel like I won't say like the bad kids were bad at the start eventually, or bad people now, because definitely there is like the vagabond like character development arc during your teenage years, and you definitely change. Even now as an adult, you radically you think the change is like super fast as a kid, but when you look at it, it's like you change so much as an adult. It's like once you start realizing, holy shit, all these problems. My frontal lobe is now telling me all these things.
Frontal lobe.
It's like I changed now.
I get this. Just reminded me that something crazy about disciplining children is I think specifically, I guess at Peninsula, like our class was just hated because like we get in trouble for everything.
What class are you talking about though?
Like our age group.
Oh,
Because like I remember in kindergarten we get in trouble for things that we were never told that we weren't allowed to do. It's just like, what do you mean we're not supposed to do this? Nobody told us the rules. Yeah. And then like I guess maybe at that point they started telling the kids they'd give them a rules book on the first day. So it's like the kids actually know what to do.
But do you think those kids are gonna?
But like there'd just be times. There'd be times that these like the younger kids would just get away with stuff that they just would not let us get away with.
yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Like when we were their exact age. Like if we were doing what they're doing, we'd be thrown on the wall and
The
on
wall.
the
Dude, the wall. When you had to stand by the wall.
We'd be crucified on the wall.
You wouldn't even be crucified. You'd have to stand still and like watch everybody else play. And then there's like, okay, when it,
Like-
you can go and go, and then the bell rings, and you're just like, what the
And then the teachers would be like, "You see him? He has committed a crime. Everyone throw your basketballs at him."
Dude, genuinely, it. I hate to make the Jesus comparison, but it definitely felt like that. And like,
Definitely felt
you know,
you know what he died for now.
yeah, you like. Do you know how weird that was? Like the almost like medieval punishment.
It's strange, especially.
It works though. I mean, I
yeah.
never did it again.
But I mean, like, especially on like hot days too, just having to stand on that wall is
Or
like,
even freezing cold days when there's like snow and shit. And,
no sitting. You had to stand.
which in the wintertime
if
would
you
be better.
sat-
like a rebel.
If you sat, you would get an extra day.
I think the most horrible moments, like, because I think our class was like super social and like we had a hierarchy system and shit. I think the biggest moment where you lost your fucking credibility is when you had to go stand up and take your card from green to yellow, and then it's even worse if you go from yellow to red. Because
Yikes.
I remember there was one time too where it's like we didn't have cards. It was like in 4th grade, and the counselor came and was talking. And I wasn't doing shit. And next thing I knew, my name got read up on the board. Back then in fucking school, I was like, oh, my name's on the board. I'm so fucking cool. And then fucking next thing I knew, I got a little check mark on my thing. And then I got a second one.
No.
And I thought it was like, I was like, oh yeah, I'm a badass. Like, I must be like her favorite student right now. She fucking walks at me. She's like, you get 3 days of in school suspension. I fucking panicked. I was like, what am I going to tell my parents? And there's this one girl who's sitting next to me or whatever that obviously I was trying to impress because I was all like, yo, look at my name, man. Look at my name. And fucking next thing I knew, she was laughing at me and then held it on for the rest of the year. And it was like the biggest -R moment of my whole life. Cause I was just like, I had to go home. I was all, oh my God, ISS. I ended up going to ISS and I was crying in the fucking classroom. Everybody's like, stop, shut the fuck up. Stop being a big baby.
Dude, they were mean to us when we were little kids.
I didn't do nothing. I deadass wasn't doing nothing. And she's just like, I don't like you. I was like, oh.
That would happen so much in elementary school where you just be being yourself.
Dude, there were some.
And they're just hating.
Using my adult brain now to analyze this situation, dude, some of those women were fucking cocksuckers, bro. Straight up, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, dog.
Teachers or kids?
Basically, I'm gonna be honest. Throughout all of elementary, this might be a total sexist take. I had 3 dude teachers. Never had a problem with any one of them, and they were like 20, 30, and 60. Not a goddamn problem. They were
problems.
chill, and I learned from them. The girls, though, bro, I don't get it, dog.
Power trip.
It's like, what in the fuck? Because I don't. Oh, bro, it infuriates me. Like yelling at a kid for just talking. Like the discipline. I'm all like, dude, they are young, developing minds. Let them yap.
Honestly, though, like our greatest accomplishment in classroom is making the teacher cry. Though, like that was like the best day ever.
God damn,
I don't
Ruben.
remember that.
The sadistic one over here.
No, it wasn't even like we did it on purpose either. It's just like, it just happened. And the next thing you know, she's all crying on the fucking desk. I'm just like, it's all awkward. And we're all
What
looking
happened?
around. We're just like, oh.
What just happened?
But then again, I look back and I was like, that's fucking awesome, dude. I'm so glad I did that.
The craziest thing to me is half my elementary school teachers didn't even get to finish out the year because they all got pregnant.
Yes, dude. They all got pregnant all the time.
Like, it wasn't until I got the older teachers that it was like, oh, I actually got to finish out a year with this same teacher.
Right.
No sub.
Bro.
That'd be bizarre if they got pregnant too.
It would be a little weird.
You Pete. I don't even know how the meme goes. But dude, I don't think I got it too much, bro. But like some teacher, it would always be the same repeating teachers. Just like, dude, close your damn legs. How many you want at this point, bro? I never said that, but I thought
that's
about
what
it.
you were saying. Never mind. I was saying something completely different.
But no, I think I was able to avoid a lot of the getting in trouble because I had diplomatic immunity because my mom worked at the school.
Dude, did I ever tell you that your mom would tie my shoes in first grade like every
she?
day? She tied them every day because I never learned how to do it. Well, then one day she said, I'm not going to do it for you anymore. And what's it called? I was like, okay. And so I thought it was totally fine. Well, and then I ended up telling my mom, like, Mom, I can't tie my shoes. She's like, you can't tie your shoes? She locked me in my room and she's like, you're not leaving until you come out with them tied. And I learned how to, it took me 4 hours and I finally got them tied.
Dude.
But yeah, your mom was a saint for me for like kindergarten all through first grade, and then eventually one day she was like, "Okay, dude."
She had to cut you off.
She really did. I'm
That
serious.
must have been the same year that she made me learn how to tie my shoes too, because she's like,
But she was like super polite about it too, so that's why I was always like,
You're like,
yeah.
sweetie, you need to figure it out for yourself.
you gotta
Well,
learn.
actually, if my dementia's kicking in, I can't remember. But I remember the hoop. It was at the basketball hoop right next to the first grade wing. And I walked up because she was always standing there, whatever, when we all ran out. And I walked up and I go, my shoes untied. And then one day she just like finally was like, not going to do it for you anymore, dude. I'm just like, damn.
Fuck it, barefoot, we're balling.
I don't remember what I did after that. But I eventually had to tie my shoes.
I'm trying to.
I think I did do that. I just shoved them into my foot. I think that's exactly what I did.
I had to do that so much, not because I didn't know how to tie my shoes, but because my laces would be just so long that they just always be getting untied. So at some point I was just like, screw it, I'm just going to tuck them in.
When did I learn how to tie my shoes? I know I was threatened to. They threatened to like throw away all my toys, and like I think in like 20 minutes I kind of got it. Every time they use that fucking argument, I'm like, you fucking. I look at my parents. Like I know what I was thinking back then. It was just like, you fucking asshole.
But then they paid for it, so they're taking the L either way.
You know,
Yeah.
actually, I think Colby taught me how to tie my shoes.
I think mine was a YouTube video, so shows where I was going at a young age.
Damn.
Ruben got the worst of it. You got the
wasn't bad, though.
The hyperbolic time chamber to learn how to
real.
tie his shoes.
It felt like 7 years in that room, and I finally got it
Came
done.
out of it looking like Teen Gohan. I did it. Shirt's fucking off, pant legs all
Ripped.
fucking folded up. Your mom was like, "What the fuck happened to you?"
One
I
shoe
became a man.
tied.
I became a man. Tough.
But yeah, I think
One lace is longer than the other.
I think because since I always had Mariah a year older than me, so she learned how to tie her shoes first. And it was at one point where it was just me, Colby, and Mariah at the house. And I needed my shoes tied. And Colby was like, how do you not know how to tie your shoes? I'm like, I don't know. I'm a baby, I guess. And he's like, haven't you ever seen the episode of SpongeBob where he ties the shoes? And he played the episode. I
Oh
was like,
God, I can't believe I never used that before.
I was like, man, this really didn't teach me how to tie my shoes. I don't think he really did it right at all. But I at some point I did learn from Colby hammering it in my head how to tie my shoes.
In retrospect, it's like so fucking easy. It's literally
easy.
just the laces. Put them into a loop. Put the loop together. Grab one of the loops. Put it through the loop that you made by crossing them.
do you still bunny ear your shoelaces?
Fuck yeah, all the time.
Oh.
And
Yeah,
no,
I actually couldn't figure out how to do the bunny ear one. I always do it with the one loop and then you wrap it around. That was the way I always do
So
it.
I feel like I was always late to everything, and so I did bunny loop for like ever. And then one day, like some kid in like 6th grade, I saw him tie his shoe, and I saw him like use the one finger thing and all that stuff. And I go, "There's another way to do this." And so like I literally learned how to do it like the other way or whatever.
I'm gonna be honest. I know how to do that, but like thinking about it as a kid, bro, the fucking bunny ears was just fucking ridiculously easy.
Yeah.
It's like it was just the Ryu of just tying your shoes. Just fucking bunny loops tie. If it doesn't work again, grab the ears again
do
and
it
tie them.
again.
Yeah.
Fucking there you go.
do it
GG's.
until it works.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Make it so you get a knot.
Yeah.
Bro, I've had bunny ear loops last me years. Years.
If you
brother.
do them
Damn.
right, I always just I'd always have to double knot. That was my go-to. Is once I had the problem of my shoes always untied, my mom was like, "Just double knot," and I was like, "What
You could do that?
What is this ancient technique?"
I always remember too when I first started seeing like Heelys and stuff like that at school, and then they'd get mad and they'd make us take off the damn wheels. Well, obviously I didn't have them, but
I always wanted
all
those
my friends
too.
had them and shit, and I was just like,
I like how those made a comeback for like a short period.
for like 3 days.
3 days.
As a high schooler, it's just like, what the fuck? You got Heelys?
Yeah,
Where the fuck you get those?
Yeah, I always thought those were cool, but
I still want to buy them.
my mom would never let me get them. She's like, "You're gonna slip and hurt yourself," because my older cousin Joshua, he got Heelys for Christmas, I think, and he was wearing them at our grandparents', and he slipped and like bashed his nose on the table. And my mom was like, "You are never getting those shoes." I was like, "Oh man." Ruins everything.
Do you know what I mean? They're super smart too back then because I never realized they got free slave labor out of us. Remember when we got to be the kitchen helpers, and
That's
all we
right, they
got
did
out of
do
that
that.
was the fucking ice cream sandwich.
I don't think I didn't do that. Like I said,
I did it like 18 million times because I thought it was so fun.
diplomatic immunity. Didn't have to do
You know
that.
what's
Well, it's not even. It wasn't even a
Oh, it was
punishment.
a
It was a
volunteer?
reward. It was a reward. That's what it was.
It was.
Kid, where have you been? We went to the same school.
Did they just gaslight you into child labor every time?
No, I think adults. I have to respect it now. Tricking a child into like doing something because it's like just interacting with an adult is the biggest genius play ever,
Dude.
It's like, you want to help me do something? And it's like, is it work related? No, but you get to hang out with me.
Oh, you don't
Dude,
want
and I fell for it every time. I fell for it every time.
Wow,
Like my
these
little
dishes are so cool.
man.
my little brother
buddy.
won't do shit for me, and he's an iPad kid, and he's like, "Do I get something in return, like Robux?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "Okay, never mind then."
Man, maybe we the iPad kids are smarter than we give them credit for.
I know they just want the
They
iPad.
won't do free labor.
No, that's one thing as an adult I won't do. I'm not giving
No
them
iPad.
an iPad or a phone until
Yeah,
way later.
I never will either.
But yeah,
At least like 13 at bare minimum.
Honestly, I
think
probably won't even give him a phone until like in 7th grade.
that's smart, honestly,
Yeah.
because that's actually when they need it.
Because like I really do, and I've got personal shit too with it. But it's like it, even in the people I know like care about the most, I'm like, dude, get off your fucking phone, dude.
Some people
you're
have it
killing
bad.
yourself, and like they'll have thoughts and shit, and I go, dude, get off your fucking phone. I'm
that-
like,
you can-
that is exactly why it happens. I'm like,
Yeah,
Bruh.
You were given an iPad.
yeah,
we know who's the new iPad baby's gonna be.
yeah. I
But
won't-
that just reminds me of you talking about having to help in the kitchen. But another thing that they do at Peninsula, I don't know if they did this at your school, but in 5th grade they had us like be like the hall monitors, I guess, but they had a different name for it. I can't remember. But it's basically
Hall lookers.
they get like kids to be like basically police the playground.
It's got to be something stupid like Panther Patrol or something
It's
like that.
it was something stupid like that. But like basically they'd be incentivizing you to rat out your fellow students.
Bro,
and I remember
holy
I
shit.
remember signing up for it, and me and
Oh my
I can't
God.
remember who I was paired up with, but I ended up just like not even actually doing the patrolling.
just walked
started,
around and
I
did
just started
dumb stuff.
giving all my friends the slips that they did a good job.
Tough.
Bro,
They never asked me to do it again after that.
school really taught us, at least the public school kids, about like how real life works. Because
It's true.
It is genuine. You know what is it? I forgot what the Harvard prison experiment. I don't think that's.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think that's exactly
Yeah,
it.
It's literally that in all schools.
Yeah.
It's and while we're not adults and we can't abuse the power in full, we gotta do that again. But just go to a public school, start like doing the hall monitor things, kind of
It's
give like
literally-
a power display and watch
It's
it
literally
in
Lord
real
of the
time.
Flies.
Yeah.
Like it actually, like Lord of the Flies is so accurate to what children will actually do when given power. I guess that maybe just the people that were in our class were just specifically not caring about that, because I don't think anybody actually snitched on anybody.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think we've ever had a snitching problem.
Like the people who were allowed to be in that program just absolutely did not care about actually snitching.
I think there's been times too when I was the freaking the lunch helper or whatever, and like the kid wouldn't have money for his lunch. I go, man,
There you go.
Oh, yeah, you're good.
Go and take it.
I felt like a mafia boss. I'm like, it's on the house.
It's
man.
on the.
House, man.
One meal is gonna cost them.
He's like, I'll get his leg later, boys.
If you don't pay the debt off.
Just remember this favor I did for you.
Or be like, you better give me the good basketball when I get back out on the
give me the
on the
good basketball.
freaking.
This is a random comment for October. Should we cover the Harvard prison?
You don't-
My birthday's in October.
Hey,
We
we'll
can
bring you
Hey.
back. We'll bring you back.
Schizo month. We've already planned it.
Schizo month?
It's gonna be
Fuck yeah.
skits.
It's
Skits
just
Tober.
every week conspiracy theory.
Oh yeah, say no more. I'm
Oh, yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta tell this story
Go.
since it's on my mind, completely off topic from anything we're talking about. But Ruben, I want to see if you remember this. Do you remember the time that Jackson Fair was gonna get married?
Oh my god, yes I do. And it was a big thing for like a
Yeah,
whole week.
The whole class was like prepping
What?
for this wedding.
Dude, yes,
the
I
fuck
remember
is-
this. I remember this like crazy
So-
because I remember it, and we were totally on board with it too. We're like, yeah, Jackson, good job.
So
like, we're
that's
so proud
the
of
funny thing is I was actually part of this like undercover ops group
Bruh.
to actually sabotage the wedding.
Oh
What
my
in
god!
the-
I don't
So-
understand. So I mean, I understand why he gets brought up in our stories a lot because like I remember us three.
He was
but
always
what's
close
it
with
called?
us.
Yeah, but then it's always like, why would you do that to like your kid friend in kindergarten?
He's always playing the villain.
Here's how the
but
story
yet he
went.
always wants to go off with a legacy and sacrifice himself. That makes no sense.
So here's
double-edged
the
sword.
story. So Jackson was dating that chick for that whole school year. They were together the whole time, and then it was like, was it like March or April that they decided to get married?
It was like close to the end of the
It
year.
was pretty close. It was like one of our final
That
hoorahs.
scared the shit out of me.
And
Low-key.
I remember because we're sitting at the tables, like the lunch tables, and like this was a big talk of the school. Like this whole time, everybody was talking about this wedding going on, but they had to keep it kind of under wraps because the teachers weren't going to let
Yeah,
that.
they weren't cool
They
with
weren't
it.
going to let that slide. So I remember.
What in the fuck
I
is this
I remember
story, bro?
Chase. He came up to me and he was like, "Caleb, did you hear about Jackson's wedding?" I was like, "Yeah, that's crazy. He's getting married to her." And he was like, "We can't let this happen. Do you know what happens when people get married?" I was like, "No, what happens?" He's like, "They have sex. We can't let Jackson have sex."
Chase knowing that
No
and saying that
way.
to you in elementary is
He's
totally
literally
okay.
cock blocking from the get go. He really gatekeeping.
He like that was the whole thing, and so like we had this little alliance that we made. I can't remember who was all part of it. I guess you were.
I was not a part of it.
You're all for Jackson.
I was
getting
all
married.
for it.
But I think it was me, Chase. I think Wade was a part of it.
I would see Wade doing that.
I think it was basically that whole group. We're just like, yeah, we're gonna.
I think it was like mainly dudes too.
Yeah, it was all Jackson's like.
Like his best friends
Like
back
his
then
best
too.
friends all decided to
But isn't that what we're
ruin his
supposed to
wedding.
do now though
Yeah,
too?
we gotta save his. We gotta save him from.
That's
this kind
so
of
bad
stuff.
for me to say that too. Isn't that what best friends are supposed to do? Stop you from getting
Stop
married.
you from getting married.
Oh
But yeah, that
god.
was our entire plan. So I think at one point, like it was finally the day of the wedding, and we're like, all right, we're gonna go in and we're just gonna wreak as much havoc as possible. We're gonna steal the rings.
There were rings.
There was everything, bro, like
it was
flowers,
wedding.
everything.
Like they were gonna have a real wedding, and I remember as soon as they were all gathered to do the wedding, we just ran in and just started grabbing stuff and just booked it, and then like. We were like off in the outskirts, like hiding like in
By,
the
like, the
grass,
fences or whatever,
like by the
yeah.
fences, and we're like looking, and everybody was just kind of like huddled up and just like nobody was happy at this point. And then I remember coming back to class, and they're like, "Yeah, her and Jackson broke up." And I was like, "We did it!
We did it.
We stopped the wedding, baby!"
Good.
But yeah, wedding
great.
crashers.
Do you remember the black market of food items in the cafeteria that we'd always do?
Oh yeah,
Where
yeah.
we'd always like we'd actually have like an economy where it's like one what's it called? What are those brownies called?
the cosmic.
Because the cosmic brownies would be
Oh,
like 2
God.
Dorito chip bags or whatever. Oh, that was like the greatest thing ever.
It's literally so crazy how just elementary school is just a mini society.
It really is because you create your own like mini cliques too within, like your own little posses.
I was just thinking, this is completely off topic, but it just popped in my head where it's like, I saw on Instagram reel like a couple days ago, and he's like, it's like when the 10 out of 10 freaks out when the teacher paired you guys together. She's all like spazzing out saying no, and you're just like crying in the
Just
corner, like
crying.
tough. I don't know why I thought about that right now.
Dude, girl, you know what I'm gonna also say, bro? I don't know, maybe this is just an Alex thing, but girls are mean, at least in Othello, man. I'm like, damn.
What was
why
funny?
did I do shit to you,
Was
dog?
funny for a good chunk of elementary school. I only hung out with girls.
Really?
Like I think the
W.
first
You.
the first
Rizzler over here, bro.
2 years I was hanging out with guys all the time, but from like second grade until I think mid fourth grade, I'd spend a majority of the time with the girls at recess.
I think the biggest flex too, like back then, was like you knew you were popular when the girls would chase you around.
Girls would chase
And like,
you.
like it's serious. There was one time too. It was like me and somebody else. I don't remember
Mm.
the kid's name, but we would like stand by the wall or whatever, like not because we were in trouble, but then we'd see somebody get chased by a bunch of girls, and we're just like,
Huh.
tough. What a W.
See, I just, because the girls would always, like, for a time, like, none of the guys wanted to do, like, playing, like, pretend games. And the girls would always be playing pretend.
sucked.
So I was like, man, I'm going to play pretend with these guys. And I just be, like, a cat every time.
I won't lie, though. I definitely did have
Oh God, I think I remember that. I think I remember seeing you do that one time.
I was like, I'm a cat.
My
And
respect. God.
No, dude.
That was fun.
I always looked at the sports kids doing their thing. I'm all like, man, y'all don't want to fucking be a transformer or anything? The fuck? I always thought that. I'm all like, what the hell?
I'd always like not play sports when like a kid would sneak their toys to school, and I'd always gravitate to that, and like we'd just play toys on the ground or whatever.
Hell
That
yeah.
was fun.
It was always way more fun to do that.
Bringing a toy to school and then it successfully coming back home was elite.
It was
Oh, yeah.
elite. It was even cooler when they brought it back. Then, another thing too was when they brought their parents and like their dads, and they just throw the football like 300 yards. It was like the greatest day ever.
Because Fry's dad would usually show up.
Yeah,
right?
Fry's dad would show up a lot, and they
Yeah,
freaking
he was
throw
always
the
cool.
football like crazy.
Yeah.
And Jackson's dad. He was always
He
there.
was always
man.
there, like every day. He was awesome.
Yeah, he was cool. He just chat with us, and I don't know. He just livened up the table. I guess we were at the cool table with Jackson.
Yeah, yeah. He had all the aura. We were just
He had
chilling.
the aura.
Yeah. I think my favorite meal though from elementary school was like they never make it ever the same anymore. But back then, the turkey gravy mashed potatoes.
Oh, my mom would show up
so
just
dank.
specifically for that.
Same
bro.
with my mom too. That was the only times my mom would show
Hold on,
up.
let me give it a pass real quick.
Yeah.
This is where I differed because I just loved the waffle days. When they'd have waffles, I was like that because I always get packaged lunch. Like my mom would make me lunch.
Cold lunch kids were always the flex though. Like,
The bougie kid.
dude, I always was like, they got cold lunch. They're so rich. And then when I got cold lunch, I was like blessed by God.
Like, oh my gosh.
I was like, yes. And it was,
My
like,
mom
I'd have to
always-
lie because we'd go through like the menu or whatever and put like H or C or whatever next to it. And for me, I'm not picky. It's literally H every single day for hot lunch.
Yeah.
And then like one time they had like, oh, do you want fucking celery for lunch? And I'm like, hell no.
No.
I get one day of cold lunch and I felt like I was blessed by God. I said, and then like the lunch pail would come down into my hand.
But Matt, yeah, my mom would stack me with all sorts of good food. Like I'd always get Lunchables, or she'd make me like a turkey sandwich, with
Privileged.
Pringles,
Lucky
and an apple.
bastard, bro.
Even Alex didn't get that.
cookies.
You really were privileged.
I was pretty privileged. My mom.
Oh my God,
My
dude.
mom loved me.
My mom couldn't afford that, dog. I think
See, my dad had that good REC money at the time, so we were living large.
my parents over my lifetime have barely changed. My dad has stayed the same, and I'm fucking shocked.
I'm so pissed off, dude. My parents, when I was a kid, my parents were broke. And now when my siblings are a little bit older, they're rich as fuck. As soon as I moved out, next thing I knew, they bought a fucking 7-bedroom house, fucking Lunchables every day, and got them all the name brand shit. Like, no more Great Value shits in that house, ever. It's always fucking Kool-Aid. It's not no goddamn Great Value.
Yeah.
It's always Rice Krispie Treats. It's not no Great Value. It's just stupid. And I will hold it to their necks to this day. Sorry, that burst a bubble in me. Like,
That's actually
You
funny.
bastard to change them.
and here's the thing: when I go up to them, I eat all the food because I'm like, you guys are so fucking ungrateful. I'm like, these are name brand. I'm like, you don't get the fruity dino bites. You guys get actual fruity pebbles. Like, you guys got problems.
That's true.
No, I think I'm being so honest right now. Out of what, my 13 years of schooling, counting preschool or whatever, if I'm doing the math correctly, maybe less than 3 times did I ever get a cold lunch.
Really?
Yeah, that's about same here.
Yeah, about 3 times.
I was
You were privileged,
I was
bastard.
living large
You
with
were.
a PB&J almost every day.
And mine wouldn't even be crazy. I get like a sandwich and a fucking like the Pringles chip cans and maybe a cheese stick, and I'd be like,
oh,
lunch of the fucking gods,
one of the
bro.
best lunches I ever got in elementary school, because my grandma would always go to like some German store in Spokane, and she brought like these like German pepperoni sticks. And so my mom had one of those in my lunch.
I'm hungry
And,
right now,
Dude,
dog.
I'm starving. You want that
butter,
pizza?
peanut butter
I would
jelly,
be down.
and my grandma made homemade cookies.
Oh my
So I had one
gosh.
of those in my lunch as well. I was like, this is the greatest lunch ever.
So
I think the biggest flex you can do as like an adult after living not living in poverty, I think like living pretty hard is like to eventually grow up, be an adult, and be like, motherfucker, I'm making cold lunch for you, and then if my kid were gonna go, but I want the great. No, you're making this.
You're getting cold lunch.
You know what I just realized though? It all makes sense now why my mom would get so mad at the clothes that I wanted to wear. Because I'd wear like the most basic looking trashy clothes and she wanted me to dress nice because we had the money to dress me nice. But I just refused to do that.
So that's one thing my mom like really like what is it called? Enforced was like no holes in my jeans was like the biggest thing. And like I was so mad because I thought it was a style and it was. But it wasn't that big of a. It wasn't that big of a style in elementary school, and then eventually did, and like all my siblings or whatever started wearing whole pants. I was like, "You guys got mad at me with this," but I think where the point where I transitioned to realize what is bougie was when we finally got Park Orchard, our very first indoor elementary school, and I went there for the first year that it opened, and I was like in shock. I was like, oh my God, Moses Lake is rich now. I'm like, it's no more outdoor freaking elementary schools.
Not now,
That was so whack.
What are you talking about? Now we have 2-story ones over there by freaking Yonezawa.
These kids are rich.
Well, I mean,
and
like,
there's going to be a new one built right out here.
Are they still doing that?
Yeah, they're building another. They're building another one by the what's it called? By the Mormon church.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they're building 3 more.
That's actually crazy.
When I think like they need to renovate the ones in the base.
With all these elementary schools, we might actually need a new high school.
They've been saying
But
that
dude,
since we were in elementary.
This is my hot take. I don't think we need a second one. I really don't. I think one, they exaggerated it with the high school. I didn't think it was cramped. I really never did. The second thing is they don't need to build another high school that's like 80 fucking million yards away in that new building they built, and they only put it to freshmen. That's destined for failure.
Yeah.
Like, just make it to where everybody can go there. And it's like, make it way closer. Why'd you build it a million fucking yards away? Just build a new football field.
They were, you know what was weird? They were always, I always would hear like they're going to make a new elementary school, or not elementary, the new high school. And then some fucking adult would just go, there's going to be a school rivalry. And like now in retro, I'm like, are you fucking dumb? Like,
I feel
are you really that? Because I knew what school rivalry meant. Like with my adult knowledge, it's like a gang type of culture. I'm like,
Oh my God.
So
this is high school, dog. Nobody in the modern day high school with the internet, nobody gives a fuck.
If anything,
we're actually beefing, it's on Snapchat, dog.
Yeah, but then wouldn't that make things be better though? Because they would make each other want to be better. The natural competitiveness of being better.
Honestly,
it makes no. Old people are so weird.
But here's
bro.
the thing: we're criticizing them right now. We already seeing them fucking up. Like they have no money for any of their schools. They fired everybody, and it's like. Hot take, I voted no for the levy because fuck them, dude. I knew how they were running that shit, and I was like, fuck them. Like the superintendent stole like $30 million and like got away with it.
Like
wait, what?
On credit cards and shit.
It's actually a good thing that the levy failed because now we actually got to see how awful they were running the school district.
Hold on,
and like, shame on them, man, for stealing all that money from the kids.
Yeah.
Like. What the heck?
I gotta backtrack. Alex is missing some crucial lore here.
Bro,
what do you mean?
Like 2 years ago, the superintendent finally got busted for stealing a shit ton of money. Like it might have not been 30 million, but it was at least over $1 million.
It was a lot of money.
It was a shit.
Okay,
I think,
between 1 million and 30 million is a lot.
Okay, so it was at least 5 million. Like he stole a shit ton of money.
Really?
And so he got busted for it. Didn't get fired for like 5 months. And then eventually, when he did get fired, they're like, your punishment is you can't work for the Mosaic School District. Bro, he's rich already. He's gone. Like, why did we not do anything on that? It was the craziest story I've ever saw.
Crucified the motherfucker.
Like, honestly, yeah. If you're messing with kids' education, that's probably the biggest.
Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. Can I ask? Was he Christian or like a religious man?
I don't know, but he was a very big man. He was a very big man.
Okay, bro. I know a lot of like teachers and stuff go to church, and the fact that just like I can't name drop or anything, but there's an extremely concerning amount of adults who will fuck over kids and are just terrible people that work with kids. I'm like, wait a minute, huh?
It's so wild.
It's really creepy, bro. Like I don't get my girlfriend watching this. She'll understand. We've had the discussion a few times, but like it's really weird. Like I genuinely, as of right now, as being a 21-year-old, or am I 22? Am I 21 or
22?
I'm too far.
I did that a lot too.
As being a 22-year-old, like it does cross my mind every once in a while. Be like, should I do private school? Because at least that point, I can fucking yell at a teacher's ear, and be like, "You suck."
Well, I mean, now I don't know if Washington does it, but like the whole like open choice thing or whatever, where like they let you choose. They now give you like a credit or whatever to like let your kid go where you want him to go. But I don't know if that's a Washington thing yet. I know it's a bunch of like red state stuff, but.
But man, that just got me thinking too.
30 million is wild. That's the actual number.
Weird power dynamic that teachers would have over kids. That is like, because I always hated doing the stupid music class. Like I did not want to do that. And I remember being very adamant to my mom every single day after school, being like, "Why do I have to go to stupid music class? I don't like that class. Why can't I do a class that I actually enjoy, like a drawing class?"
This makes so much more sense now. Like certain conversations I've had with him.
Like why can't I just draw? Like during the class where people go to music class, like the people who enjoy that class, they should go to that class. But I don't enjoy that class, so why do I have to go?
Yeah,
they're basically setting me up to fail in that section of the school.
I remember in elementary school too, like on the whiteboard when you walk in, you'd see the agenda for the day, and it was like always like an amazing day when I'd see like something got taken off, and like well, it'd always be fun to see what was taken off and replaced, and like sometimes it'd be like art section or whatever.
When it'd be the
like,
art hour,
or like you can see right there, it's like free time, and it's like we get extra free time today. It was like
let's go,
thank the Lord.
It's just because they couldn't figure out a plan for the rest of the day, so just like free time for an extra 2 hours.
But like that was great. Like I think kids need more time like that at school to make it actually enjoyable.
No, it genuinely blows. I will still say it till probably the day I die, until I see like a fundamental like complete reconstruction of the school system. It's just like, dude, we're kind of cooked, because like it's all like it's just prison. It's literally prison. It's just work. I'm like, damn.
But then again, what's your counter to that though? Like, what is your resolution? Because like you can criticize anything. Like even me, I criticize a lot of things. It's like I don't like to unless I have some sort of step forward. Yeah, no. My answer would literally just be like, you would have to. I'm going to give a very simple answer, but you would have to like do more fine detail, but just like something similar to what Mr. Bigwood did, at least for middle school and high school, because the fact that he just made it interesting. I still learned things in that class, and while sometimes he probably went a little bit too overboard, just the mixture of just, hey, you want to see this fucking picture of Batman? And then I can explain like why it's cool. I'm like, hold on, let me lock the fuck in. The cultural relevance of Batman. Or just like, imagine if, oh my God, dude. Just imagine if a music teacher or like a history teacher were to break down, this is going to sound fucking dumb, but it helps kids. It's like break down the Kendrick versus Drake beef. And it's like, no, I'm being serious. And like the cultural lore behind it, because there's literal like, I just fucking watched a 3-hour-long video of somebody explaining that. I'm like, don't talk to Drake. Don't talk to Drake.
See,
interesting.
See, but that's the thing. I think it has a lot to do with like teachers. A lot of teachers will follow the curriculum to the to the book or whatever. The ones that would like allow kids to like expand their minds while like loosely following the curriculum. That's when we get something good. Yeah. Because like I think 5th grade, it was 4th or 5th grade, I can't remember, but there's like when we'd finish like one of the sections in like our history thing or something, we do like an activity that has something to do with like,
we're gonna recreate the Civil War.
Honestly,
that'd be awesome. That'd be so cool.
Here's your musket. Here's your clothes.
And Mr. Heffley, please come in.
They wouldn't let you do finger guns at school.
Really?
Me and Chase would get in trouble for like doing finger guns, like pretending we're shooting zombies, and they're like, "Yo, that incites violence. You can't pretend to be using guns."
And me when I go home and play Call of Duty,
because it'd be me, Chase, and Peter always doing like finger guns like this.
Yeah.
So at some point we're like, okay, so we started doing it like this, which is even closer to being an actual gun that we're holding.
Yeah, because you're actually having a trigger motion.
But they wouldn't notice when we'd be like this. They'd notice like this, or like I don't know.
Just like fucking Bully Maguire, like
yeah, we couldn't do that. Like,
oh, dude, I remember some of the teachers getting mad at fucking the Spider-Man thing, bro.
Would they really?
Yes, at my first elementary school, they got pissed at us for using Spider-Man's fucking web shooters, bro. I was so pissed. I'd be pissed as a parent and be like, You're getting mad at web shooters?
You're mad
are
at
you
well,
are you dumb?
Here's the thing.
I love seeing you guys is freaking.
Here's the thing that just came out this year that my mom was telling me about is apparently they had a meeting with the counselor. Like the counselor gathered like all the teachers and staff at the elementary school, and they were saying that kids are being bad. That there's an issue that they're saying an inappropriate thing that we need to stop at the school. They're saying skibbity toilet.
That is a bad thing. That is a bad thing.
They're saying skibbity toilet in Sigma, and it's wrong. And my mom was like, "This is the most stupid thing I've ever heard." It's like, because they're like, "We don't know what it means, but we know it must be something bad." And my mom was like, "Yeah, my grandson says that stuff, and it's actually just nonsense words. It's actually just stupid."
It's like, I'm so glad I haven't actually like seen any of the actual like skibbity shit.
I've watched the first episode of Skibbity.
No,
it's genuinely just brain rot.
All the brain rot that's came out in the past like 4 months. I'm so glad I've never was like, I know about it, but I've never dove into it. And then I saw like, it's like I just don't get it, because like I saw another thing too where it's like, oh yeah, our brain rot back then was like MLG and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, but then if you look, it was different, you know.
Like I feel like that had
now
like,
they're real things.
It's actual just brain rot, but like I'm trying to say is like a lot of these teachers, it seems like they're ignorant. They have no connect to what these kids are like is in their mindset, because it's like, that's clearly just like a joke.
Yeah.
Like it's just something that they say as funnies, or just like weird, dumb internet slang that they're saying. It means nothing bad.
No.
But they're making it like these kids are like the spawn of Satan for saying toilet.
And
it's
Sigma.
a toilet in Sigma.
One thing that they've never busted us on, and this could be complete bullshit, but I remember when I was told when I was a kid, it was like, oh, you can't raise the middle finger, you got to use your pinky. And so we'd always flip each other off with our pinkies.
But I remember that.
No one would ever say anything bad.
You know what? I'm gonna teach my kid to do this. You know what this means? And you're gonna have to bleep it. But in the UK, or is it this way? No, it's backwards. In the UK, they had to redo the Left 4 Dead cover, because like this is slang for a variety of things, actually. So just be like, you want to learn something cool today?
This man just signaled Al Qaeda to come down here or something.
just do this as your teacher.
That's
like,
crazy.
Oh yeah.
What a charming young man giving a peace sign.
Yeah. Reverse peace sign, kind of weird.
But I mean,
Kind of
like,
cringe.
it's just weird to me how teachers will like spend all day dealing with kids, but like they forget how kids
Actually,
Well, it's like there's a bunch of teachers out there too that just hate kids. I was like, why the
It's
hell
so
did you become a
weird.
teacher? You
Yeah.
weirdo. Like,
It's like, especially in elementary school, because they're just like playful, having fun, children, like babies.
They are literal puppies. They're just everywhere
And,
and
like,
want to enjoy things.
they
there is spawns of Satan somewhere, but
That-
there's
some of them are,
yeah.
but it's like the ones that are just like having fun. Like, why are you so angry at that? Like, what's the issue with? Because that was one thing that really made me mad. Is when they finally got like, because for the longest time they'd only have like
Ruben, pass me that phone.
balls.
I'm actually gonna look what that
they-
means. It's bothering me.
Oh.
They only have like balls and stuff on the playground to play with. That and like the toys,
Yeah.
like the play sets. But then they finally added those dump trucks.
Oh
And
yeah,
I was
yeah.
so happy that there's finally dump trucks, because I loved being here and just at my house and just digging in the yard. Like I just love
You
doing
still
that.
love digging.
I still love digging.
You're hoping
So,
one day you'll find a bone.
I really do. I really hoped I'd find a dinosaur one day. But so when they added the dump trucks, I don't know if you were in the group, but I know it was me and Chase for sure again, that we'd make like ramps with the dump trucks. We'd take all the bark and like make ramps going on the concrete to like.
Yeah, I'd play sometimes, but like not every time.
But like we do that as like a way for like everybody to have like a ramp to like play
walk
with the
onto
trucks
the-
on.
yeah.
But then there'd be like other kids from like the lower classes would just destroy it and then like just
Well,
leave.
boys,
Just-
get back to the job tomorrow.
just to destroy our work that we created for other people to use and play with. And so at one point we like
It's a declaration of war, actually.
It's a declaration of war.
It's a declaration of war. That's actually badass.
no
as hell.
way. Maybe we should have done this to these kids. But
That's
like
actually
this is a
cool.
recurring thing too, because but like I remember we talked to one of the people out there, and or one of the adults. We're like, these kids just keep destroying our ramp that we're making.
Our establishment
Like,
of life.
we're making stuff, like we're creating stuff, and they're like, well, you guys are too old to be playing with the trucks. You shouldn't be doing that. And it was like, really?
Bro.
Like, what do you mean? And then it'd be the same thing with when it'd snow, and like everybody would go out and try to make snow forts and big like make a giant snowball.
Yeah.
And the kids would destroy it. And when we complain about the kids destroying what we created, it was always, well, you shouldn't be playing with that.
Yeah, or
It's
no,
like-
or they would say like, well, maybe you guys should include them in your guys' building. And it's
Yeah,
like,
and it's like that, but when we do, they destroy it.
yeah, there was always that one kid that would like purposely run up to the big ass snowball and
Yeah,
like
and you just
kick
kick it and break
and
it.
then like half of it would fall apart.
And it's like, dude, we just spent all recess building that, and the teachers wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Like,
If I slightly roll my eyes, then they
yeah,
get angry.
they'd care if we did that, but like,
Oh, God, I'm getting pissed.
I still don't understand it. Like, where's the mindset that I'm getting in trouble for making? Like, essentially, we were making art out there, making these snow forts and making these giant snowballs, working with our whole friend group to make these
Encouraging
works of art.
team skills.
We were, and then they'd be like, we'd get mad when these kids would destroy that because we're planning on like playing with it or like using it for whatever, and then the teachers would get mad at us for building it. It's like, how are we at fault?
There's a lot of anger built up in you, big dog.
Because it was
It was
always
dumb. It was always fucking
me.
stupid.
Just like I'd be just minding my own business, having fun creating something, and then somebody would come and destroy it. And when I'd go to the authorities for help,
authorities.
they'd make me the villain for having an imagination. And it worked
Somebody
like,
get the warden, please.
it worked like that every time. If I had free thinking, they'd be upset by that.
Shut you down.
Because there's another time where they'd have this dance thing. Do you remember when we dance in the morning on
yeah,
Fridays?
yeah.
And there's a time where we started like freestyle dancing, doing our own dances.
Start doing the fucking worm.
And they got mad at us for doing that. They're like, you need to do the dances that everybody else is doing. And it's like, what do you mean?
Fall in line,
Like,
communist.
If you're not gonna follow the dance moves that everyone else is doing, then we're not gonna come out here and do this anymore. And it's like,
Tough.
what do you mean? We're having fun. Isn't that the point of us being out here, is to have fun?
Caleb is pissed.
I think my favorite thing when it comes to like that stuff too was what's it called, the pacer test, which people hated it for some
I
reason.
don't think we did the pacer test,
I love the
though. It was
pacer
in middle
test.
school
I was always
for
like
me.
the last one or like second to last one out there. It was a flex.
Us fast kids. It was funny because it was always the short fast kids.
It was always the short ones. Yeah.
that were the last ones out there.
Yeah.
But man, that just it's still, because I still don't comprehend it. Like, how was I at fault when I was just making stuff and playing?
I think as adults, especially just after hearing all these stories, I was already gonna make it an effort to just really just be involved in my kid's life, but to just genuinely be like, ask them what happened at school, and if they tell me a story like that, and I'll be like, I'll look at my wife. If Nat if my wife, and then I'm gonna look at her and be like, we should totally do the opposite of what these teachers are doing, because the kid just wanted to build a fort and they got pissed at him.
But plot twist, he's building a fort so he can start enslaving people behind it. He really is the next spawn of the devil.
But it's like it's just frustrating every time, because I liked having these little snow forts that I'd make, because then we could have like a little like story where we're playing like,
So you can sacrifice yourself again.
I can sacrifice myself again. But then they just come out and just kick it down every time, and it like at some point it was getting to the point where it was almost like I wasn't able to do anything I enjoyed, because if I would do it and somebody would come in and ruin it, I couldn't get justified for anything. So it was just like, I guess I'll do nothing at recess.
Right.
I get in trouble no matter what I try to do. And what I was doing wasn't even something that disturbed anybody else.
Yeah, it's You were actually genuinely pissed.
Yeah, you were pissed, dude. You were going on for a while.
No, it was acting like, because like I said, I still don't understand why they do that.
I don't
understand why the kids would do that to destroy the stuff I made. I don't understand why the adults would take the side of the kids who destroyed it.
I think for the kids part is just some kids just don't know. They don't know how to respect emotions correctly. If I'm remembering like stats and statistics correctly, is that they just don't know. It's like if we were adults doing it now, they really wouldn't care unless you
They
can
join.
tell. Yeah.
The boys join.
Yes, but unless you got that one prick who destroys it, you genuinely know. Like if you're doing that as a teenager, I start raising eyebrows and be like, "Where are you going to be in 15 years, asshole?"
Right.
But like as a kid, it's different.
Do you remember the day where I brought my stepbrother to school, like without visitor slip or nothing like that? I just showed up one day. Yeah, this is a great one. So
What?
So let me start at the very fucking beginning. So we lived in my grandpa's house, which was like a street down from the school, and I'd walk to school every day. Well, then my stepbrother was there just because I don't remember why, but he was there for like a week, and it was obviously I had to go to school that day. He was like 13 at the time, and it's like fourth grade. I was like 9, and so I'm like, "You want to come to school with me?" He's like, well, I don't know if I can. And my grandma's like, yeah, just fucking go with him. Who cares? So I'm like, cool, come to school with me. Fucking brought, I mean, like, when I'm thinking about it now, I'm like, dude, that was a horror. I bet you I shit so many people's pants, like the authorities and stuff like that. Showed up. Fucking Jackson was like, yo, who's this? And then like all the fucking girls were like, oh my God, who's this? Like fucking gushing about him. And then like we were just like hanging out for a little bit, and then out of nowhere like 3 teachers came out. She's like, who is this? And he was like, get to the principal's office right now. And we're like, okay. Like I was like low key like scared because I was like, what did I do wrong?
What happened?
We go to the principal's office, and the dude just like, who is this kid? I go, he's my brother. And he's like, he doesn't go here, so why is he here? And I'm like, well, just because I wanted him to. And so my mom got called. She was pissed. I got grounded. And then my grandpa was pissed. He was like, well, I didn't know you were taking him. I was like, you said you can
told
go.
me to.
But yeah, that day was great. That was like the first time I actually got in like real trouble for bringing an unexpected guest to a school that could have easily killed all of us. But
Was he like chill though?
no, yeah, he was totally chill the whole time. He was just like literally just following me. He didn't say nothing. He didn't do nothing.
He's like, this place is pretty neat. I wonder how fast I'm gonna get in trouble.
This is a neat school we have here.
Yeah, he was persecuted for existing.
That's crazy. Like I get why that is like a no.
Yeah.
But it's like it's still funny.
Yeah, I mean, at the time I didn't think I was doing anything
If
wrong.
your brother was your age, they probably wouldn't have. They would have been like, who?
They would have found out probably like when we get to like when we went into class.
Probably,
but
yeah.
it was way before we even went to class.
Yeah, it's. I'm trying to see if I remember any like crazy ass fucking stories. For the most part, I kept kind of to myself. But
I remember there was this one girl that kissed a dude out of guilt in elementary school.
out of guilt.
I'm surprised you don't remember this just by me saying it.
Maybe it kind of rings a
But
bell.
I'm not gonna drop names for this one. 'Cause this one's bad.
Make fake names. Funny fake
Billy
names.
and Bobby.
Sure, Billy and Bobby. Well, fucking Bobby was always like, he's a big liar, right? He'd always have to add something to the story and like always like one up everybody. Well, then one day, like he would be like, oh yeah, I kiss girls this and the other. We ended up finding out he didn't kiss girls. And it was like fourth grade. It was like fourth grade, and
Who
he was
knew?
like, well, then this one girl that was like in our group that hung out with us, she was super chill, and she's like, yeah, I'll kiss him. And so we were like, dude, yeah, do it. And he didn't hear it, nothing like that. So then fucking whatever the fake name for the girl was, I don't remember.
Billy.
We just said, hey, you guys should like hang out. And they're like, cool, yeah. And then we end up telling her to take him to the fence and go kiss him. And like supposedly like they went over and we can embrace him because that's where like the hill dropped a little bit and the fence line. So they sat down and fucking she didn't kiss him. Didn't do it. He came back saying that they made out. And I was like, dude, and she was like, why would he say that? But then it was like that kid was like constantly lying. But
I think I know who the girl was, but I don't know who the guy is.
I'm sure you know who the girl was because like she hung out with all of us.
Yeah.
But
That's fucked up.
it was funny as fuck.
why
though.
can't I
Like that was
remember?
literally like the greatest. Like
That was
dude, you're
fourth
super
grade?
cool. It was like fourth grade, yeah, or maybe even third grade.
Gosh, why can't I remember?
I remember one time my penmanship was so bad the teacher just couldn't read it, and when I tried to read it off I'm like, I don't know what the fuck.
You're like,
even-
I'm good. You're like, I'm
Like I
good.
said,
Oh, man,
that's probably
not me.
That probably is about it.
I still can't believe they don't teach cursive no more.
Yeah, that is crazy. I mean, I get it's kind of
It's irrelevant.
dated now. Like, there's no real reason to use it other than
Making a
signature.
signature
Yeah, but my
A.
I
but
think
my signature is just
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just there's a C, and then there's maybe a P.
yeah. Mine's an R, and then blah blah blah, and then G. Well, actually, you can see the R, you can see the B, you can see the G, and then you can see the 2 R's on the end of my name, and then the O is obvious. But
Yeah.
a lot of it's just scribbles.
Yeah, yeah.
The doctor's
Mine's more
signature.
stylized, but if I really wanted to, it would just be A, X, and then the X line would just drag out, and I'd be done.
I've seen those Instagram reels too, where it's like, this is how you should sign your name, and it's like elegant and shit. And I'm just like, yeah,
I don't have time for that.
I don't got time for that. I gotta sign something.
I'm
and
not
go.
signing the Declaration of Independence here. I'm not using my John hand.
When I signed my mortgage, oh my god, dude, my hand started to hurt, and I was just going.
God. Well, we'll come to that day, Alex. I've been preparing my signature for this day. Babe, help me. You can force my signature.
I remember.
Did you always go to Peninsula?
Yeah, the whole time because my
God.
mom worked there.
Oh, that makes so much
Lucky bastard.
sense. Lucky.
Didn't have to ride the bus until middle school.
I moved like twice.
I moved like 6 times. I went from Peninsula to
We're
Park
going
Orchard.
trauma for trauma.
Trauma for trauma.
Park Orchard. No, I already said Park Orchard. Nose Vista, Garden Heights. Where else did I go? I went to Larson up in the
Man, that's the
Bays.
Infinity
I think Ruben
Gauntlet.
has
Oh
a-
god, there was one more, but I don't remember.
That's crazy, man. I can't imagine. I've lived at
But-
this house my whole life.
But here's the thing: like all the schools I went to, I'd always go back to Peninsula for at least half the year. It was weird. I'd always just show up to Peninsula.
You're just the character at the end of the season.
I'm
every
the side
time.
character, like the
side
special guest.
What's up, guys?
Ruben returned for the show.
Yeah, for real, for the end of it.
For the end
I
of
always
the
loved field
season.
days though. Oh,
Field day
dude.
was
Oh,
cool.
this is a part I forgot. I wanted to say this.
Oh, I have to ask that question. Go.
They don't do field trips no more.
Really?
Like
Do they
elementary
not
school.
at
No,
all?
dude. I'd literally never seen a school bus go on a field trip ever.
'Cause
Like, do you not remember ever going to Triple Play? We went to Triple Play.
No.
We went to Mrs. Dobbs Pumpkin
Yeah,
Patch.
I remember
We went to the
those.
fish hatchery.
Uh-huh.
We went to the bowling alley every year. We went to the water park.
Most of those, yeah.
And then we went to the aquarium one time.
Cheese
The
Pizza
aquarium?
Yeah, dude. Like fucking.
But I wasn't invited to that
Yeah,
one.
so
I
then we
guess.
went to Triple Play too and stayed we didn't stay the night, but we were there all fucking day. But dude, like they don't do field trips anymore. Like my siblings don't even know what a
Really?
field trip is. They're just like, yeah, we went to like one trip maybe. But
the
I'm like,
heck?
you guys don't go every year? And they're like, no, we don't.
I wonder why. What
Budget.
You know, budget, but also maybe.
Speaking of that counting.
the only other thing I could think of is at some point some kid got like hurt or something.
Do you not remember that in 5th grade where they got hit on the slide?
Yeah, we're. Oh, on the slide.
Yeah, that's how it happened.
You know
I was
what?
on the slide when it happened.
At the water park. Or?
Yeah. So
Oh, shoot.
we were standing in line and some girl went down and then like we got to wait for the guy to say go. Well, then some kid was a fucking moron and just went.
Yeah,
just
sounds
went
about
like
right.
3 seconds after she did. And like we're all like, what's gonna happen? Well, she ended up cracking her fucking skull because
Oh,
the dude just came in too
shoot.
quick and then smacked her on the side or something like that. And then we just never went to the water park ever again.
They must have been just trying to avoid a lawsuit because that year too. I talked about this on a earlier episode of the podcast was when it was super cold that year, so every kid got hypothermia. So and like I said, I was the only one because I hate swimming.
Yeah.
So I didn't go in the water at all, and I was perfectly fine. I got to live my life.
This is so fun.
I just sat with the teacher and ate pizza. I was like, man, look at these idiots in the pool.
I always thought it was super cool getting like the hybrid freaking vanilla and chocolate swirl ice cream
Ooh,
cones.
yeah.
So good.
I'd always get the nerds rope. That's what I always get.
So okay, just kind of switch gears. I don't know how often you guys did it. This is kind of more in middle school, but
Wrong episode.
I know. But they kind of did it in elementary. I remember it like once, but it was more prevalent. But like the amount of like, okay, I think this is maybe in specific, but like the 9/11 memorials they would do in class, and I would just be like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah, I don't think
dude?
they really did that in elementary.
No, they never did that in elementary. I do remember the first time I like finally understood what 9/11
What
was.
9/11 actually meant is
Well,
like,
so
And then I thought from that day on forward, that shit was funny.
it's a meme.
It was.
I think the first time I actually was like emotionally moved by it, bro, because like we celebrated it. Well, Jesus Christ, why would I say it like that?
celebrated, yeah.
We had a remembrance for it in class, and I obviously didn't understand it. And then so I went home. My mom had her laptop, and I go, "What's 9/11?" And she goes, "Here," and she just showed me all the videos, and I go,
You just got PTSD.
Dude, I was up for like 5 hours just watching it over and over again from like different angles and stuff. So like nowadays, like
Wait, did you see the bodies drop?
Yes, yes, I did.
No way.
So when people were like, "Oh, new POV," I'm like, "Nah, I've already seen that. It's not new. You guys just didn't see all of it."
You guys are just seeing all the
My
footage. I saw
mom
like
showed it to me.
Yeah.
No, but I found it pretty weird. Like they would kind of mention that stuff, and I'd be like, "Can I just read my fucking Diary of the Wimpy Kid? Why y'all trying to ruin the movie?"
Diary of a Kid. There's 2 twin towers in the corner.
I don't care.
There's already a meme in there.
There's already a meme.
It was, I don't know, they had weird like assemblies. Like that's the one thing I always remember. Like we would go to an assembly, right, and then it would just be some random ass shit. I'd be like, why are we doing this? What's the point of this?
Did you ever have the country couple and their puppet come to your
Oh
school?
my god! And then the alligator guy that would
Yeah, the alligator was so cool.
And then
The alligator guy.
he'd always pee on the
You'd
fucking
always
front
pee
row.
on the kindergarters, dude. That was the coolest
That was
assembly.
awesome. But I remember the
loved when
cowboy
I got
puppet
come.
people or whatever.
That was
I remember
those, I thought those guys were kind of weird.
No, I thought they were funny.
It's kind of weird. I don't know.
I had the
weird.
reptile man like once or twice. I'm like, this is cool.
Reptile Man's awesome.
That's when I started to love alligators. Was when I finally got to see that baby alligator. I was like, this is the coolest little guy I've ever met.
I like him. I'm gonna
R.I.P.
keep him.
R.I.P. Is he dead?
Probably, dude. It's been 20 years.
Alligators live a long time.
How long do they live?
They can live for like forever.
It's
like-
the crocodiles live.
We're talking about alligators. We're going to crocodiles.
70 to 80. Oh shit. Either way though,
It's
they're same family. 70 to 80
it's
years.
70 years.
He's probably a big one now.
He's big boy. He'd
He
eat
still
me.
pees on kindergartners.
I think he eats
Eats the
kindergartners.
Oh god, I was going. Oh, so the reason why you said those or whatever, it made me click to that Peninsula. What's it called? The gym or whatever. There's 2 things now that have popped up in my head. First one is easy to explain. Do you remember where they used to put on a Christmas movie and we'd all sit in the dark room and watch
dude,
them?
you know what
Absolute
sucks?
cinema.
You know what sucks about that is I get sick every single year
still
that they
get
say
sick.
that. It was I would get sick every year until I think 5th grade, and I finally got to watch the Polar Express.
Aw.
Dude, that's my
on
favorite
that
movie.
last
Like
day
low key,
before.
it's my favorite
It's
movie.
good. It's a really good movie.
I think you still got sick in December. Like every year, we've been.
I get a cold, but
You wouldn't be crippled.
I'd get like a fever because there's a year, it was in 2nd grade that my whole class got strep throat. And then I had like, it was literally like that final day before that last half day where we were supposed to watch the movie. I
Tough.
started getting strep throat and I had to stay home. Because I
Tough.
remember, or maybe I did go to school that day, but then I started getting sick because I remember my brother Cliff had to pick me up. And he took me home, and then I had to go to the doctors, and they were like, "Yep, you have strep. You're gonna have to drink this pink goop for the next week."
Damn.
Icky.
What's going on? The second thing is, it was back to the whole slave labor thing or whatever with kids. There's fucking fundraisers for the damn chocolates and all that stuff.
Oh my God.
And your prize, like, dude, there was one time I filled out my whole sheet and I got like a Chinese finger trap. I'm like, are you fucking shitting me?
I worked so hard.
Like I was
for a
trying to get the
25-cent
goddamn
item.
what were they trying to give out at that time? They were trying to give out like a super big fucking like gumball machine or something like that.
I think it was like a RC plane.
Something
I
like that.
remember
Something
I wanted
awesome.
it.
Dude,
I
holy
remember.
fuck, I have
I
a big
remember
brain
I wanted
idea.
it so bad, and my mom looked at me and was like, "Caleb, I can buy you that for
Well,
so
my mom
much
never
cheaper."
said that. She'd always be like, "Yeah, go down the road and go sell them."
Because I think my mom just I think this is where I probably get it from. My mom just genuinely does not like other people. So she's like, I don't want to have to drive my son around to go to these random people's houses to sell chocolate.
Tough.
That's stupid.
Use my YouTube channel during my kid's fundraiser. Do this so my kid gets a free Xbox.
I don't
Do
want
this
to
right now,
spend money on
subscribers.
But yeah, that was basically how it went for me. It was my mom was like, that is a cheap prize and you could get a better one for cheaper.
Well, it's like even at
Walmart.
the arcade too. It's like all this
Yeah.
stuff you can just go buy
You
them.
just go buy it.
Instead of doing like, there was one time I went to the arcade and I went with like $80 just because I was like, fuck it, dude. Back to my kid tendencies, I buy expensive stuff for my kid self. Went 80. I've never gone to arcade with like over like $20. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna splurge today. $80 at an arcade, and I got like a bowling pin thing where you roll your finger or whatever. It's like that's all I got.
For $80?
No, I got more
$80.
stuff too, but it was like that was the
little
only thing that was like
tiny things.
cool. So.
Yeah.
Man, bro, just looking back at it, That shit was just the equivalent to slave labor and just cheap prices.
It was actually just slave.
It was just an unfair system.
He said it's not like it is.
It was crappy chocolate. It was crappy prices.
World's Finest chocolate is really good. I love World's Finest chocolate.
It's decent. You don't know chocolate.
Caleb, we agree on almost everything. What the hell?
Look, I've had the pinnacle German chocolate. I know what.
Remember, there's clearly a class.
There is. Yo.
You know why? Because I know why. That's just gonna go.
It might be upper class.
That's why he's got a big ass recliner. We got
Look at on screen right now. Class disparity.
Look at this. This is what they tell us. They say we're oppressed. This is it right here. The oppressor.
My grandma would bring me the Ritter Sport chocolate bars and Milka chocolate bars, and I was like, man, forget the world's finest chocolate. This is the best chocolate right here.
This is the real world's finest chocolate.
This is the finest chocolate.
I will say one thing though. I think one thing I had over a lot of kids was just the fact that my family loved to cook, so I would have fucking everything. It basically ruined my perception of restaurants. I literally will go here and be like, man, I could make a fucking steak better than this every single time.
This is off topic too, but the first time we went to Rock Top when it opened, their peanut butter jelly was $12. Dude, even I had a stroke, and I was in like 7th grade. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Peanut butter and jelly
was $12 back then. And back in that economy back then, that is like fucking $30 today. Like, god damn.
2008 went wild.
That was wild. My parents are financially struggling. I'm over here. Beep boop beep on my PS2. playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3.
Dude, I hope it gets. I hope at least my kids can. I don't know, man. I might have to say, like, not jokingly, but like the early 2000s like kid aesthetic might be the last of its kind.
Oh God, it is.
So
it
honestly,
really is.
because we lived a different life.
It's cool though. It's fascinating to see, like, well, even with like my coworkers that were like in their 40s or 50s, they seen from before internet until now, and like they understand what's most of them. Some of them,
but experiencing the early internet, like it's like
that was awesome.
Dude, okay, there's like this weird class now. There's like 3 stages of it during like the late 90s. It was like seeing before and then seeing it after, and then it's we are next, and it's like living during
the transition.
Yeah, during the transition. So
like,
you're seeing the internet evolve, and like right now everybody's in this current era where it's like it's just the standard. You're still seeing the growth, but you're not seeing like the old stuff. Yeah. So it's just like I don't know, man. It was so interesting growing up.
Because what was cool about that time was when you'd go to school and like everybody was playing a different game. So you'd tell your friends about what game
the child is doing child labor outside right now. That is hilarious.
That's hilarious.
Come in. We need an interview right now.
You need something to do.
No, plot twist. They come in and they're like, oh yeah, I get Robux for this.
Damn it.
Point proven.
My dad probably will pay him for whatever he's doing out there. My dad pays good when you work for him.
Did you guys ever have a family computer?
Yeah. It used to be right here for the longest time.
Okay, well, I might have to go sit over there now.
In fairness, though, I had every PlayStation console, so I think that's
because I remember I just sit on the computer and just look up like Sonic videos.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna incriminate himself.
Shadow. Oh
no,
dude, I miss those days where I believed all like the bullshit hack or whatever. It's like even in Black Ops 3 too, where they're like infinite black market drop glitch or whatever, and I'm just like, I miss those days when I'd fall for that.
See,
now it's not fun.
The problem was for me on the internet is I wouldn't use it to like the way normal humans would, is I just print out pictures of characters from games that I liked just to like
tape them to
them on my wall and then like try to draw them. That was basically how I spent most of my time.
There's one time at Park Orchard. Speaking of drawing them, they would always have like a weekly librarian drawing contest, and I traced the shit out of my photos, and I just said who I did it by hand, and then eventually they caught me doing it, so I go, no, I can do that, and that's how I've honed in my ability to like look at something and just like fucking draw it exactly. But see, I used to lie a lot.
It wasn't fair because clearly Peter is gonna win that every single time.
Dude,
he's a tattoo artist now.
Bro, he's crazy.
That dude was drawing like college level art.
He literally did the cover art of Doom.
He did. He did.
He did.
That guy was crazy. He was the craziest artist I ever met.
Yeah, but his family was just crazy too to begin with. So it's just all like he had to go crazy.
He's like, I have diabetes. I'm gonna chug 3 sodas right now,
dude.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's one thing. Transition time, because I want to talk about this too. Peter and me were able to create one of the greatest things that come out of elementary school, Milo comics.
dude. I love that. That was awesome.
So fun.
That was so awesome.
Because by the time we got into 5th grade, we basically had everybody in our like age group working on Milo comics.
Yeah, I remember when I was doing it at one point too. Yeah, and I remember I was like, dude, we should tell the principal to make a newspaper, like a school newspaper.
Because I remember we were like pitching Milo comics to him at one point too, and it was funny because it was like it's kind of like violent too, and we were like showing this to the principal, but he liked it. He actually thought they were cool.
There was one panel I drew where it was like Milo as a anchorman, and there was a fucking nuke in the background, and it said breaking news, and obviously it was like all shitty and whatever, but it was like literally what I thought of like nuclear apocalypse or something like that.
Yeah, and like. Because it was funny how we had it too. Because like we'd assign different people to write different comics.
Right.
I remember specifically giving
Marvel comics.
I remember giving you specifically like Milo in Times Square on New Year's.
Yeah.
Like that was the one you had to write. But man, those were so fun to write. That
was fun, dude. That was like the one time I actually like honed into my creative ability. And like I'm not creative at all.
And like that was one of those things too that like it was like teacher supported. So it was like actually benefiting like us kids having something that we all enjoyed doing, just creatively working together on a task. Like that was like the one time like the teachers actually helped.
Like wasn't objected to it.
Like they actually nurtured our creative spirit with those Milo comics. And I think I still have one. Like the rest of them are lost media, but there is one. I just
Expo over here, lost media.
Last Christmas, 15. I saw it in the Christmas stuff. I was trying to look for it right now, but it's too buried. But if I find it by the time we bring out the Christmas decorations again,
I really hope
I will
put
bring it on the
on
podcast and read it because I think it's a Christmas special.
But Milo at Auschwitz or some shit like that.
No, Milo in Auschwitz.
What were you itching to say, bro?
I thought about it, but then I immediately forgot.
Oh no!
But yeah, man, like I don't know. It was just because I remember too. Like the reason we even started making them was one of the curriculums was teaching us like a story of like a guy who started making like comic books, and it was like chunky comics they called it, where he made like a really fat little book, and I was like, wait a minute, Peter, you like drawing, and I like drawing, and we both like cats, and we both like Calvin and Hobbes. We could make our own little comic books. And so like we'd go to church together, and we'd be drawing the whole time during like sacrament and stuff. And we'd get to school the next Monday, and we'd have like these whole stories planned out. We'd make the book throughout the week because I think even too at like recess is when we'd start like drawing too. So like we just spend the whole day just making Milo comics, and that was like peak. That was pinnacle.
That was peak.
That was peak elementary school, because I think even with that, by getting everybody else in the class, I became like one of the most beloved figures.
You could have easily became the president that day.
I could have. I honestly could have, because I think I just formed so many different bonds with so many different people that I just became one of the most beloved people.
There's no 4th grade states. There's 5th grade states. We can be united with the Milo comics.
We can be united under one Milo comic.
Yeah, for real.
But like, because the one thing I remember that like sticks in my brain that I was like, man, everybody really liked me in elementary school.
Right. And then middle school came, we got to build a wall. We have to build the wall. We can't be, we have to be separate.
We got to separate all us kids again. But I remember it was my birthday in 5th grade, and like the whole class was singing happy birthday for me. I was like, man, do you guys actually like me?
Caleb, you might have peaked.
I peaked in elementary school.
5th grade.
Bro, I'm just thinking about this. I'm just thinking about like back to my elementary school days. I'm just like, dude, I just kind of went to fucking school and went back home. Like, I was just like, I don't really think I had a social circle like that at all. I don't think I really had a social circle until fucking like high school, dude. Like, middle school. I'll say middle school, but this is like early elementary was just mainly for me. Just like I just show up, I don't know, I leave.
I go
repeat the
home.
process till like 7th grade.
It really only got crazy once it got to like 5th grade because like a bunch of new students just like poured into the school at that
Oh
time.
yeah.
So we just had like a huge like because we already had our previous friend groups, and then I started making friends with these new people. It was mostly like the girls, and they're like the popular girls. So that like bound everyone together, and I was like, guys, Milo comics, and everyone's like, that's a great idea.
That actually triggered a memory right now where it's like when you said the new kids coming in. I remember in 4th grade, and he's like my best friend right now. I hang out with him all the time, so I'm not gonna say it. But I remember this actually vividly. Fucking the teacher was like, "Oh yeah, my niece is coming in. She's moved in from out of town. She's gonna be here tomorrow." The first thing he said was, "How old is she?" and everyone was like, "Yo, you're already fiending, bro." It's like,
Dude, was that 5th grade?
that was 4th grade.
That was 4th
That was
grade.
4th grade.
I think I
that was
remember that.
first, and he
Childish.
he just said it out loud for like
How old is she?
for completely accidental reasons too.
Is she
Dude,
cute?
that's so funny.
It was
Dude.
hilarious. I think even when she showed up, like he like was so embarrassed he wouldn't even like
The
introduce
Rizzler.
himself.
The Rizzler.
Starts mogging.
My lady.
My lady.
That's funny shit.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, for in terms of girls though in elementary school, I was just like, I just vibed.
Did you think any of them liked you? Yes and or no?
I don't think
No,
me
I-
either.
Really?
Like, I
Yeah.
thought some of them were cute.
Yeah, but then-
like,
but then-
it-
I don't actually back then. I don't remember ever actually like having a crush in elementary school.
I had one.
Okay, that's a lie. There was one girl I had a huge crush on, and she told me right after I moved away, and I was pissed.
The tragedy of fumbling.
It was a day I was gonna leave Park Orchard to go to Peninsula, and she fucking told me right then and there, and I was like,
man. You're like,
heart
no.
and then I ended up just fucking. I don't remember any other crushes in elementary school, but there was one, and
Yeah,
fucking
I think that like I didn't really understand like what crush was, so I use the term loosely.
Mm-hmm.
But like, there's girls I found cute, but there's never really anyone that I like obsessed over in elementary school.
right.
So it's like I just vibed. Like it was
See,
really
my dementia's good for those things.
just good for those.
no
things.
harm.
Like
no harm.
my,
No harm.
elementary school was just me just using my imagination, playing, drawing. Just
Do you
good
still have an
times.
imagination? Do you guys still have imagination?
Oh my gosh!
I wouldn't have
dude.
I literally, as I've been working on a video that I'm planning to do like a whole animation, like a whole 3D animation, and I'm literally just still as like when I was 5, and I am not right now as 22. I am imagining the fucking anime battle in my head. So yes, Ruben.
I guess that's true, but I'm talking about like almost like AR stuff, you know, like you can imagine like right here on the floor. You
Oh
know?
my gosh! What?
Imagine the apple test.
the apple.
I don't know what that is.
Imagine an apple in your head right now. You can
Yeah,
close your eyes. If you
yeah.
want. What does it look like?
An apple?
Is it like a super realistic detailed apple, or is it kind of
No, it's like a freaking color book looking apple.
I mean,
That's
that's,
what I
still
think
good.
of.
That's like I think.
But
that's
it's
like a
okay.
2
So I guess this is like
scale.
off topic as well. But like there was like 2 years ago or 3 years ago when I was like looking at the clouds and I couldn't see anything. Like I couldn't make
Really?
yeah.
Really?
And I was like, fuck, did I really lose my imagination? And like recently, like 6 months ago or something like that, out of nowhere, I'm like starting to see shapes
it's
again. I'm
been
like,
brought back.
yes. I'm like, yes.
Your,
it's
your inner
king.
child's being nourished.
I think I always see shapes when I look at the clouds. My brain's always like, is that a bunny?
Dude,
The one thing I'd constantly see in the clouds when like back in like middle school days was always Covenant ships from
Covenant
Halo.
ships.
Every
Oh
time.
my
I would never see
gosh.
anything else but Covenant ships.
I have an autism test for you guys.
Oh fuck yeah.
Hold on.
Okay.
You see a massive ass, a massive.
Oh, I was
thing
gonna be
in
like,
the cloud.
yeah, for
a,
sure,
ma-
for
a
sure.
massive. You know what I'm talking about. You know, yeah. What do you call that?
A massive what?
A massive
You know,
cloud.
a cloud. Okay, what do you call it?
Like a massive cloud in the sky?
Do you just call it like a cloud?
Just call it a big ass cloud.
That's a big
So-
cloud.
That's a big ass
I
cloud.
call it by its scientific. I can't pronounce
Oh
it.
no.
It's somebody did
No
a test. It's all
way.
like
Does it start with a C?
yeah
the cumulonimbus.
Cumulonimbus. I can never pronounce it, but I know what the word looks like. So it was like on an Instagram reel. It was like I can actually tell if you're autistic or not. What is this? Like, and it's just like if you said a cloud, okay, fair enough. If you said a big ass cloud, good imagination. If you called it by its scientific name, you're one of two
might have
things:
the tism.
a nerd, tism, and I'm like, damn it.
Alex, you're cooked either way.
No, every time I won't even lie, bro. I had to think back on myself, even like as a kid, and even like a few days ago. I did us look at big ass clouds and I go, "That's a cumulonimbus."
Dude, I'm so fucked up,
bro.
dude. Every time you say big ass, I'm just like, in the fucking sky, bro. I'm just like, I'm fucked.
That peach up in the sky.
But no, it's funny that you bring that up about like still having an imagination, because I genuinely, within like the past couple months, I'm genuinely considering bringing back Milo comics as like an actual thing.
W.
Dude,
I actually can remember drawing his head. That's the one thing I can
like,
do.
I can draw his head better from imagination than my own signature. That's how much we did it.
Yeah, I can do, like, I can't do the body anymore, but I can do the head just from what I remember.
Because I must have been some sort of genius when it came to character design, because it's such a simple design that anybody can draw it. So that's what made it so easy to mass produce at the school.
But he was constantly sitting down in every panel, though. He was never actually moving or anything.
Caleb, can you draw Milo standing up? Caleb sweating.
See, at some point we get like the ones who mainly did it had the ability to draw them in different poses, but like those who just were like starting out wanting to join, it was just the same.
Yeah, me was just him sitting down every time.
Sitting.
Like
I genuinely want to.
Yeah, you should.
I see people doing kind of like comic like strip-esque like Instagram reels, and they get really
I've seen those too, and they're really good.
I like Glowbore. He's like the fucking floating eye, and he's like, Glowbore, and I talk like this, and I'm like, this is peak comedy. I love it.
I always see this one on Instagram. It's Nerd versus Jock, or Nerd and Jock. I think those are neat.
Yeah.
Are you thinking about the guy that's like a white character and then a spider? That's not the same one you're talking about?
Maybe he has a separate one, but I can pull it up real quick, because I always read them.
The dude's name. I'm not gonna.
I would encourage it. Just do it for funnies.
I like, honestly,
for funnies.
I want to finish the Milo comics #1 and like just publish that, put that out there, because I have like, my adult brain has adult brain ideas on how I can actually make it like interesting.
Convince the newspaper to put a new comic strip in there.
I want to do that too. When I first started, I was like, I should pitch, like, we should like to have like the community come together, and like maybe like the schools or something have like a program where the kids can like write comics for the paper and like just put them out there.
Did the high school ever have a paper?
No.
Yeah,
we didn't have jack diddly for creative kids.
We had nothing.
You want a scholarship? It's either sports or music. Nothing else.
Pretty much, yeah. Like we
not to brag, but I'm gonna be honest.
Got
out of the entire 2020 class, I think I was the most original in where I was going, because it's all like, oh fuck. Yeah. Everybody says I want to be a YouTuber. Never ended up doing it. Me actually doing it like at 16.
It's these comics.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
that's
I
like
what I was talking about.
Yeah, I was just like, there's no creativity. Y'all don't go. I don't know what happened to me in high school, but it's like something clicked. I'm like, I have my own wants, needs, and ambitions, and this place is too limiting.
Oh yeah,
I remember the first time I made my like destined career path change was when. Do you know what Trio is? Do you guys know what Trio is?
Yeah, I remember what Trio was.
So
I was in it for a little bit, and I was like,
the very first year I was there, they took us to all these colleges, right? And we were there for like 2-3 days each. And then 1 week they were finally like, okay, this is the big one. Like, we're going to be here for a week and a half. Like, this is where you dive in at UW. And fucking we stayed at the dorms and everything. And because I wanted to be an electrical engineer.
Electrician?
Mechanical engineer. Mm-hmm. And they take me to one of their classes. Literally, I went there for the first time for about 15 minutes. I said, can't do this, man. This is not for me. So went from mechanical engineer to see what happens after I graduate. So
good decision in hindsight or no?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Hey, at least it's being honest.
Living life, bro.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But yeah, I genuinely at some point soon I'm gonna start getting back into writing those and put the first one out there and just see if people like it. Yeah. Because I know there's a lot of like.
Hey, the Boondocks got big.
There's a lot of outlets now that you can actually like put this stuff out there. So like before as a kid, I didn't have the abilities that I do now to be able to produce them. Now
thinking about it, dude, comic book strips have always been relevant in any form of media. It's actually wild. There's still memes from like early, the year of the gamer, woohoo, and that's still being a thing. And like the other joke where it's just the fucking sticks. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
that's
Lost.
Lost is still relevant. So it's just like, dude, you can.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Chronically online, the both of us. So it's just like, you can probably genuinely like make Milo be a thing. It probably will end up being like popular.
Well, I mean, even just because you have a name and it's like, it's catchy, you know. It's like, shit. I remember Milo to this day, and we were only doing it for like not even a full year.
No, we did it for. Well, I guess I don't think you joined until.
No, I didn't join until like the end of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but Matt. God, yeah, I just want to bring it back because I'm starting to feel like my inner child's like punching his way out again. He's like, we can do it.
Back to the abuse from earlier. You've abused him inside.
I've abused him. I've left him dormant for too long.
Instead of playing with toys now, I just think to myself, or now as of recently, I just start like writing, and I've been doing that every so often. But sometimes I get caught up in just like, man, I'm good. I'm just gonna game, bro. That's the thing. I
actually don't game that much anymore.
Really?
Like, I love to play video games and shit. Like, and I spent way too much money on consoles and shit that's in my room. But like, I'll hop on and I'll play like 20 minutes. I go, man, I'm good, and fucking turn it off. And like, it's depressing because like every time I turn it off, I get sad because I'm like, dude, what the fuck's wrong with me? But every time Call of Duty comes out, whoo, I'm on that shit for about 6 days straight.
See, this is why I just like when there's times like that and I want to play games, it's always good going back to old like story games.
Yeah.
Because then you can just replay it and you're like,
yeah, story games are
so
like
great.
legendary. The only game that's gotten me to play like religiously recently was Helldivers, and like that game's dead already.
I don't think it's dead, but it's just kind of like it's how
the hype hit. Now it's just the core fan.
But I still love the story that's going on with it. They need to fucking put the aliens in already.
I'm waiting for it too.
I'm genuinely thinking once I get done editing today, I'm gonna hop on Helldivers.
I'd be down.
Dude, Helldivers is awesome. I love Helldivers.
It's so fun.
I'm waiting for Warhammer. Warhammer, the new Space Marine 2 is coming out next. Yeah, September 9th. It's coming out next month, man. I'm like, single player game, multiplayer in it. Oh yeah.
Tough.
Good
I don't think
stuff.
there's any single player games that I really want to play recently that are gonna come out.
I got to play Kingdom Hearts and Metal Gear. That's on the list now.
I'm gonna be playing the Silent Hill remake when that comes out. This October.
That's been on my bucket list to play any of the Resident Evil games.
They're so good.
I haven't played any of them.
They're so good.
And Outcast, I want to play that one too. I've never
You
played
said
it.
Outcast and I thought of Andre 3000.
Isn't that what it is? Or is it like Outlast or some shit?
It's yeah.
Outlast? Okay. Something like that. The ones where it's like 1 and 2.
Horror games are so good.
I don't think I've ever played a horror game.
The horror genre has always been bitching. It like a zombie always comes back. Always. I will
William
always
Afton.
come back.
Yeah, for real.
I didn't even intend to do that. That I don't even know if that was.
That's the first thing I thought of was William Afton. I think that's the only horror games I played was FNAF.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
I was so addicted to that back in middle school, like when it came out. Like I honestly could recite the first Markiplier video by heart.
Bro, you know what?
I watched that one so many times too.
Can I be honest about something? I was a big fan of FNAF, right? I'd get into like all the major theories, and this is probably the early sides of my elitist YouTuber. Like, I know more than you. I'm disgustedly educated.
This might be your autism power, dude.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely is. Me just being able to recite any information for a debate. It's like when I'd hear kids talk about the theories, bro, I'd sometimes just
wrong.
Just get up on the table and be like, "You're wrong." And then I'd like go into I never did because I was like, I still wanted to be nice, but it's just like, oh my god, you're so stupid.
Did Matt Pat ever figure out the fucking story?
I think he did.
He kind of did, but I think that they actually ended up changing the story so they could keep it going.
Dude,
No, that was for the recent stuff too. But even Scott said, "Fuck, he figured it out," and then would start changing it. So
yeah, because I think that's
technically no.
I think that's what. Because I remember I was like, I thought I was Matt Pat for like the first 4 games because I was like invested into the storyline. And then the books came out. I never read them, and then like I saw a storyline with the books involved. I'm just like, oh god, this is peak. This is so good.
See, after the 4th game. Like once it got to like the sister location, I just lost interest.
What? That was gas.
I started losing interest because I was like, man, it's just too much.
After 4, it's done. Leave it at that.
What is the best game?
Out of all of them?
All of them.
2. 2's the best one.
I say it's either 2 or 4, man.
2 and 4 had the most going for it.
I low key dicked right at 3 when I was younger, bro. I was like, this is the best one. Springtrap is so cool. But like thinking about it now, like story wise, bro, it's like Scott peaked at 4, bro. Just the
was
lore
really good.
and like the designs and like just looking at like the attention to detail and just to figure out like this is the view of a child, bro. It was simple but genius.
Is that the bite of 87?
And also the legend.
My whole world's turned upside down.
What's happening?
Gosh, just watching
blue
those
shirt.
those Markiplier Let's Plays were so good.
Welcome to Five Nights at Freddy's, and I saw a Yami match played, and he said it was really, really good. So I want to see what's going on now.
You have even the same cadence that he does in the video.
Or then
Oh,
it's like,
Skate 3 and Jack Shep the guy. What's going on, ladies?
dude, he doesn't even do that anymore.
Doesn't. He's
I've been
boring
listening
and
to his
old.
podcast, and he said he's lost a lot of like, I guess, drive to do YouTube.
Yeah, I figured
Yeah,
it
I
was
mean,
a lot
I
of
don't know how
energy.
Mark hasn't, dude. Like, he's working on movies and shit. Like, he's the only one I still watch, like, religiously.
Because Mark's one that just does his own thing. Like, he does not care what anybody else says or does around him. But
Yeah.
but you can tell, like, from what I've heard, like, Jack reads his comments a lot.
No.
And, like, that's a no-no.
Oh, Jack reads comments a lot and it,
Yeah,
like, bothers him.
Like, because people, like, he got, like, at some point, like, his fan base kind of, like, shifted, and it's a lot of, like, elitist gamers now. And, like, they would get annoyed by how he'd act. And so it kind of, like, got to him at some point.
No, you don't, especially in an anime community. You don't
read the comments.
You can read the comments for probably the first
Oh,
hour.
I took off my hat. Crop that out, bro. my cut is cooked. Don't do that.
But like
I just had to itch my head.
after the first couple hours, maybe the first couple, don't read it. It's not worth it, bro. When you have a video that has over 1 million, don't read the comments. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. And the fact that Jack, even at his massive number, does that, it's just like that's
wild.
on you. That's
Yeah,
on you. To do that.
on you.
I feel bad for him because you can tell, like, in the last episode of his podcast I was listening to, like, you can tell it really gets to him, but it's like, man, you just gotta do your thing, man.
I think
You
my
gotta-
favorite series from him was Papers, Please.
Papers,
Please
Please.
was awesome when he played it.
I do. I probably will end up doing YouTube till I fucking die.
You croak.
Till I croak.
But then
I-
again, so did they all said that too.
yeah. But it's just like
Pat's riding high right now.
he is.
Matt Pat's goat.
Well, maybe I'll end up retiring, but I think eventually I'll just maybe casually upload and just be like, "Here's what I've done," or
Like
something.
PewDiePie.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know really where my YouTube channel is headed. Hey, maybe if like this crazy ass animation or video I do like does well, I'll just end up just doing that and just see where it goes. Maybe I get into like some writing or something. Maybe it becomes like, I don't know, short film making that leads into something. Who knows? You know, the future is wild and it has infinite possibilities. But it's just like I think me and Markiplier have like a very similar mantra where it's just all like, I just do this because it's fun.
It's fun.
Because at one point, I think with me, I was invested with the money because I did treat it as a job. But like now, in my current mental state and how I want to live life, I think I'm just gonna end up getting a full-time job just to do YouTube for fun again. Just be like, I'm just gonna fucking make a video.
I
don't
think
give
that's
a
the
shit.
theme of this episode. Do things that you have fun doing.
Yeah.
As long as you're having fun, enjoying your life,
I love
as long as it's legal, not like terrible.
Yeah.
But as long as you're doing that, you're gonna live a good life.
Yeah. It was. I remember working. We'll save it for the high school episode, I guess, with Fry. But like, just coming home and just being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna write this script and then I'm gonna record it and then the editing will be fun. I don't know. At some point during that. Working on Leprechaun in the hospital, I had lost that.
Oh,
And
I remember when you guys worked there.
Yeah, and I'm recently
A lot of
just
times.
kind of gaining it back now, and it's just all like, it's been a long time just being excited, waking up in the morning and be like, I'm gonna write something.
I did just think they still have your name on the employee of the month for like just January or something like that. Like they still haven't taken down the little
Oh no,
name.
that's a different
different
Alex.
Oh, I was gonna, dude, because I went there like
Me and
a week or
Alex
two
would
ago.
never make employee of the month there.
I don't think they ever even did it.
I don't think so. Actually, I don't think they did it when,
No.
especially when I started working there.
No, because I remember I went or whatever, and I was just grabbing something random. Because sometimes I go in there just fuck it, just want to go see something different. And then I looked on the thing, and I was like, oh shit, they still have Alex up there.
No, what
Alex
is?
can take credit for that.
Yeah, I will. But there is a thing though that I've read, and it's just kind of seeing it in real life. Just going to a different place is just what brings me, and I think a lot of other people, joy. Just being like, I'm gonna go to a different store today, and it's just like, wow,
Dude, I do that all the time. Like, I absolutely love it.
do
Like,
that. I'm being serious. Go to a different place. It's
Well,
fun.
you know what I
Change your
do?
routine.
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. Is that I do that like
Stagnation sucks
almost
dick.
every. Yeah, I do that almost every day. Like because there's plenty of ways I can get home, and I like every once in a while. Like I know the fastest way, and there's plenty of days I just want to get home. But sometimes I'll take the longer way, and sometimes I'll go a completely different way, or sometimes I'll stop at my parents' house. Sometimes I'll stop at my brother's apartment. Like, fuck it. I mean, what else am I gonna do? Like I got plenty of time on my hands. Like,
Yeah.
might as well do something crazy. I was like, shit. I haven't been to Seattle in like 2 years, and I finally went this last weekend, and then I went to like places I've never been to, and I'm like, dude, this is awesome. Like, fucking, I have no idea where I'm at. I could totally die right now, but I'm totally cool with it, you know?
At least I had a smile on my face. I was enjoying it.
I have fun.
But yeah,
We're almost at 2 hours. Does the camera have enough?
Holy
I think this is the winding down point of this.
Yeah, because we're not talking. We actually stayed on topic for like a good majority
The
of
whole
it.
2 hours of the episode,
Yeah.
we're actually
We
just
actually
on topic.
stayed on topic.
We've never done that before, but yeah.
If I didn't want to stay after the first night, why would I stay any more than 5? I would have stayed any more than 2. Hello.
Hello.
Dude, I gotta watch that video.
And
now.
his fucking, oh my god, the eye.
Iconic.
I don't know how he does it. He's just the
Oh yeah, he does the one
eye
thing.
twitch.
Yeah, he
How
does
the
eye
fuck you
thing.
do that,
That's
Man.
crazy.
dude?
But yeah. Well, any final comments on this episode?
Enjoy life. Look at your childhood and do the things that you wanted to do.
Let out your inner child.
Yeah.
Feel it.
Go buy, because I actually just bought some. Go buy some fucking Beyblades.
Really?
I bought some Beyblades.
I want to buy action figures.
Dude, I bought Beyblades.
Dude.
I've bought
I wanna buy a
Byakugans.
Diamond
I've bought Pokemon cards. I have a bunch of NASCARs now.
I love adult money. It's fun.
Yeah,
But you can
go
spend
buy
it.
kid shit now. Like, you got money.
You're
Drop
an
a bag.
adult.
But fun
You might
fact
as well.
I would have, if I had this statistic when I was a child, I would have ran through all of my family's pockets to get shit. The fact that over 50% of toy sales comes from adults only for themselves.
Dude, that's crazy. That is crazy. No, yeah, because I've dropped.
It's like
plenty of
30 or
money.
50%. It's a wild statistic. I'm just like, oh my god, it makes so much sense.
I have a bunch of stuff like just. I still have my complete Magic the Gathering decks. I have like 6 decks ready to go.
Oh,
But
shoot.
nobody ever plays Magic anymore.
I have a few friends that play Magic, but they're
Oh.
like hyper nerds. They go to
Dude,
tournaments.
I don't care. I don't do that. But I got a deck that's just like top peak tier. Like it is literally like
Welcome to the loop.
Me with Pokemon cards buys a deck. Wow, the artwork on here is cool. Anyway, I'm going to put it in the box now. Like, literally, I just buy it just to look at the artwork.
that's
It's
crazy.
pretty good art. You know, it's so weird they don't credit the artists.
That is
They
weird.
do it on Magic though.
Yeah, on
you
Magic
see a
they do,
little
not on
bottom
Pokemon.
whatever. That's wild.
It's really weird.
You have to like go out of your way to
figure
go
out
find
who
them.
did it.
It's
Yeah.
like several links, a couple Reddit threads until you get to them. It's
God
it's
damn.
really
That sucks.
interesting.
Pokemon, change that. Credit the artist. man.
Doesn't Pokemon like going through some shit too, where it's like they're getting like some controversy because they're not handling things properly or something like that?
Oh yeah, they're
Yeah,
always-
but they're making $1 billion every game.
Yeah.
So I don't think they care that much.
oh no, we've lost profit this year. You've made more money on this game than people would see in your entire life. You're yapping.
You have the 6th best-selling Switch game.
I feel like
That's
Nintendo has like
insane.
monopoly on like most recognizable games.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
definitely
they do.
It's just because they're just old. They have everything.
Been around for a long time.
Yeah, I guess that's crazy.
Well, now I'm hungry. I think
I
we
do
should
too.
end it.
I'm hungry.
All right. Well, thanks for watching this episode. Stay tuned for part 3 coming out next week with Serenity for the middle school stories.
Part
So-
3. There's
Part
no
3.
two.
I was gonna say.
Did I say part 3? I
You
meant to
did.
say
Yeah, part two.
Plan about-
Part 2, middle school with Serenity. That'll be next week. So see you guys next time. Peace out.
W.